The ACC Blitz is powered by Ram Trucks. Heinz Field getting loud already. Pitt hosting Georgia Tech. Stan, what do you need to see today?
I want to see this defensive line take advantage of the talent that they've got up there. Look at these brothers. I talked about Juan Price, Tyreek Jarrett, Shakir Soto, Rory Blair. Use the blueprint that Clemson demonstrated last week. D-line, pressure, pursuit. That's how you beat this Georgia Tech triple option.
I'm looking for right now Pitt to develop a little more balance in their offense. They can run the ball well. They need to be more efficient in the passing game. Can Jester Weah and that group of wide receivers pick it up along with Nathan Peterson? So they can run the football, but can they have balance?
All right, you talk about the balance. And, guys, the weather looks okay right now, so I don't think it's going to be a factor. Do you agree? Do we really need to see the balance today?
Well, the problem is you can use the balance, but I don't know that these two offenses are currently have the skill and the talent in place to do so. They both are, Narduzzi talked about, they want to take their shots. Both of these teams make their bread and butter on the ground. This is going to be a traditional old school mix it up fight, win the line of scrimmage game.
And quickly,
if Georgia Tech doesn't turn over last week, they beat Miami. So I look for turnovers for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and capitalizing on those turnovers for sure. And big plays, you guys mentioned. I mean, you got to see some of that for sure. Well, our guys are on the ground already, so that's it for us here in the Charlotte studio. Tom Wormy, Dave Archer, and Roddy Jones are in Heinz Field. We'll see you guys at halftime. Thanks so much for watching. Tom, take it away.
Thanks, Katie. The Pitt Panthers are confident they'll have a lot to say about the Coastal Division race behind a strong running attack, while Georgia Tech looks to reignite its high-powered running game to see who is invincible today.
When it's at its toughest, the greatest ones step up.
The success of this team depends on me.
You hang in there, you fight, you scratch, you claw, and you find a way to win.
The tougher it gets, what? The better we freaking play.
Last year, it was Chris Blewett with a school record 56-yard field goal for the Panthers to provide the winning points for the victory at Georgia Tech. The two teams are getting together again today, and the Panthers are going to rock the old school uniforms here at Heinz Field. It is the ACC Network Game of the Week presented by Mellow Mushroom. Georgia Tech on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Panthers. So great to have you with us for our game this afternoon. Tom Wormy along with Dave Archer. Roddy Jones will join us in just a moment. Georgia Tech known for that running game. They've got a young man in the backfield, Dave. Dedrick Mills, twice this year. He's been the ACC Rookie of the Week.
Well, Tom, you and I got a chance to see the true freshman run the football a couple of weeks ago, and he rushed for 3 touchdowns. He's devastating inside. He played some linebacker in high school as well, and he plays with a linebacker mentality. He has athleticism to affect the game on the perimeter. And he's a guy that's going to have to come up big because Justin Thomas has got to have some help. Now, he's the general on the field, but he needs some people to step up around him. He had an outstanding 2014 season. Tom, the Georgia Tech fans are looking for Justin Thomas to be that guy again.
One of the guys who's going to chase Justin Thomas all over this field is Juan Price, the defensive end, the senior who leads the entire country in sacks, Dave.
Sacks as well as tackles for loss. This is an outstanding edge player. Now, he's going to have to be much more disciplined today against this triple option attack. This defense, 69 yards given up per game against the run. That's 4th in the country. But the only team running the football is not just Georgia Tech. Pitt's going to run the ball, and Roddy, the Terminator, is back in the building.
Arch,
this is a Pittsburgh team that's second in the ACC in rushing at 250 yards a game. And as you said, James Conner's back in the backfield, but he's not the only guy that Pitt has to roll out there in that backfield. Shantez Moss and the ACC Rookie of the Year on offense a year ago, Quadre Allison, also rolled through for Pitt. But the guy I'm looking forward to seeing, my X factor and my spotlight, is Quadre Henderson, the receiver, second on the team in rushing, leads the team in receptions, and he affects the game on special teams as well, Arch.
Roddy, Tom, fifth in the country in all-purpose yards. Quadre Henderson is going to affect the ball in a lot of different ways, affect the game in a lot of different ways. Better find him if you're Georgia Tech.
ACC football is brought to you in HD by your local Tire Pros dealer. Win a VIP trip for 2 to the ACC Championship game in Orlando and Continental Tires at TireProSweepstakes.com.
Well, we talked about Quadre Henderson. Here he is on the opening kickoff, averaging 36 yards a return, has taken one to the house already this year.
Did have a 96-yard return for a touchdown against Villanova to open up the season, but that one is into the end zone. All right, here are the impact players brought to you by Food Line, Dave Archer.
Well, when you look at it starts with James Conner. What a tremendous story coming off the knee injury. Obviously, the battle with cancer, the victory over cancer was declared healthy in May. Excited to see James Conner, the Terminator, back on the field. And Biznavati, the big guy up front, 31 consecutive starts. This is a huge offensive line, Tom, that Georgia Tech's going to have to contend with.
James Conner, one of the captains on this Pittsburgh team. They have rolled out with blue and yellow uniforms with the yellow helmets for the first time since 2005. Peterman's first pass is on target and complete. It's Weah near the boundary for 6 yards for Pittsburgh.
Tom, Nathan Peterman is really settled in here, transferred in from Tennessee. They change offensive coordinators on him, but he is really settled in. He's taking care of the football. You see the completion percentage. They're really excited at how their field general is taking care of business in Peterman.
Great relationship with the offensive coordinator in his first season, Matt Canada, who spent the last 3 seasons at NC State in the same capacity. This is Aston, and driven out of bounds by A.J. Gray for Georgia Tech. 8 yards on that play. And here are the Food Line impact players for the Yellow Jackets.
Patrick Gamble up front. It's a group that's really going to have to play well. He's the co-captain, leads the D-line in tackles. At the second level, these guys will have to row and flow and hit. P.J. Davis is the definition of that. He leads the team in tackles. And in the back end, Corey Griffin's going to have to get involved around the line of scrimmage to stop this run game.
28 tackles on the season for Corey Griffin, who also has an interception as a junior in that secondary for Georgia Tech. 1st and 10 for the Panthers, just shy of their own 40. Little misdirection. Quadre Henderson tries to make a cut and gain the 45, but he will not get there.
Boy, outstanding play on the perimeter by David Curry, the freshman. His father, an all-pro linebacker with the Atlanta Falcons, 32 on the left side. Watch Curry slow play it. He delays the play, keeps leverage on the outside, stalls Henderson's ability to get to the perimeter, and a number of Jackets rally to make the play. But it's the freshman David Curry, number 32, that keyed that play.
Lamont Simmons coming over, number 6 in white, to finish off the play. As you look into the eyes of James Conner, the junior from Erie, Pennsylvania. Leading rusher on this Panther team for 2nd and 6. Peterman. That's complete near the 40-yard line. Trey Tipton has the catch and a first down into Georgia Tech territory. 16 yards on the play.
Yeah, nice design by Matt Canada here. Going to sprint out to the wide side of the field. Going to clear the corner out and then run the sail route out of the slot. A little out route out of the slot. Excellent throw by Peterman on the move. And Tipton, the freshman, has a first down.
Nathan Peterman, who completes 64% of his passes so far during the season for the Panthers, who are 3-2 and 3-0 here at Heinz Field. Henderson eludes one man inside the 30, and Henderson down to the 23-yard line. Officially, they'll mark him at the 24, and he picked up 16.
Talked about trying to find this kid. He's going to line up all over. He's also going to move around. Watch the retrace on the movement. Going to come back across on the jet sweep. Excellent job of using the block by Orndorff, the tight end. And another first down for Pitt. Pitt rolling here early and really has Georgia Tech off balance defensively.
Henderson, best in the conference in all-purpose yardage per game. He averages 187 yards per contest. Nathan Peterman back the other way to a lineman, Brian O'Neill, number 70, down
That looks like a play maybe Johnny Majors would have designed right there. But Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, comes up with one, and I think Coach Majors is reveling at. How about the big fella, Brian O'Neill, left side? He's the edge man on the line of scrimmage, becomes an eligible receiver. This is what you call the oh shucks screen. Use another word in that category, but oh shucks in this category, meaning defensively you say, oh shucks, that's my guy. And O'Neill down the sideline with a convoy of the big fellas to escort him to the end zone. Nice design by Matt Canada. Outstanding opening drive by Pitt. And it's the big fella that's going to shove it in the end zone. It's the Panthers early.
ACC football is brought to you by Mellow Mushroom, a higher order of pizza. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Progressive Insurance. By Coke. And by Tire Pros.
First and 10 at the 24, slot right. Jet motion, rolling right. Peterman throws it back on a lateral. Pulled in by Brian O'Neill. Brian O'Neill's running down the field. 15-10, touchdown. The former tight end, Brian O'Neill.
That is Bill Hillgrove on the Pitt IMG Sports Network, his 43rd year as the voice of the Panthers, and he would be hard-pressed to tell me that he's seen that kind of touchdown before, Dave Archer.
Yeah, it's a design you don't see very often, and no question about it. But how about the drive? Peterman engineering the drive, distributing the football in a myriad of ways, got Henderson involved, and, of course, the clincher, the former tight end who moved to tackle in 2015 to fortify the depth there, becomes a big player in the pass game.
Green from his goal line for Georgia Tech. Past the 20 and dropped at the 22-yard line. Dave, a 24-yard play, officially a run for Brian O'Neill. Let's check the flag first, though.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 10, receiving team. That penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Right here's O'Neill. He's going to slip out right here. Watch Peterman, the quarterback, sell sprint out. Going to sell sprint out. Now freeze it right there, guys. Georgia Tech caught. It's a screen play with the big fellas getting out in front. O'Neill just picks up the convoy. Only one Tech player there. No chance to stop the former tight end, O'Neill. I talked about his switch from tight end to tackle. It happened in 2015 when they were a little short at that area. Who knew for Matt Canada to come back to play here in 2016.
Virtually untouched and to the end zone for the first points of our game today here on the ACC Network. Justin Thomas along the goal line, gets it away, and it is incomplete beyond the 30 to Ricky June. Okay, time for the food line impact players, and we start with Georgia Tech on offense.
Yeah, Freddie Burton up front, 32 starts. He has to be big today. Two really good interior defenders for Pitt. Burton will have to be, and Clinton Lynch, he's a do-everything guy, catch it, but you see when he runs it, averages a first down every time he touches it. Well, you got to come up with some plays. Got to help the quarterback. Ricky June there on the scramble drops the ball. Georgia Tech has not gotten any help when things have broken down from anybody other than Thomas.
They'll go right up the middle with Mills and a short gain of 4 yards to bring up third down. Price had the tackle. Here are your food line impact players for the Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah, Tyreek Jarrett up front. We talked about those big guys in the middle, 6'3", 335. Tough to move him off the spot. DeLambo's the all-everything linebacker will be sideline to sideline. And Jordan Whitehead will factor in an All-American, freshman All-American safety spot. He'll factor in at some point against this run game as well.
31 tackles for Whitehead. Second best on the team. It is 3rd and 6 for Georgia Tech. Just beyond their own 12-yard line. 41% on the season in this situation. Thomas got it away up to the 25, and Ricky June went up to get it.
And those are the kind of plays they need in this offense to help Justin Thomas. This is not a well-thrown ball. Let's take a look at the heat up front. We talked about this Pitt defense that gets after you. Look at the pressure to the inside from Jarrett. But June, who just got through dropping a pass, makes a circus catch on a ball thrown way inside. So June bails his quarterback out.
Ricky June, the leading receiver for Georgia Tech, his 10th of the year, and averages just over 13 yards per catch. That last one for June went for 14 yards and a first down. This is going to be Lynch. Sidesteps one man at the 30, and Lynch rumbling his way up to the 40-yard line. 13 yards, Clinton Lynch, the sophomore.
We talked about Clinton Lynch averaging 13 yards a carry. But Galambos is the guy that's going to have to shadow these toss plays. He overruns it. Lynch comes back to the inside, and a nice pickup. Lynch averaging 12.7 yards every time he touches it.
First down at the 40 for Georgia Tech. They'll toss it out. Green. And Green close to first down yardage at midfield. They give him 11, and that could be good enough. And in fact, the chains are going to roll, Dave.
Well, just when you gear into the triple option, they do the wide toss, and I don't think anybody in the country does the toss play better than Georgia Tech. The toss is so wide, they outflank you immediately. Another big first down play.
Just the 12th carry of the season for Green. But that one produces a first down right at midfield. Justin Thomas still has it, and Price was not fooled by the sleight of hand.
Now, this is the area we're talking about Pitt being disciplined against the run game. Excellent job of winning in the middle by Soto, 52. Price comes off the backside. That's disciplined defense. Staying at home, taking care of your job. Talked about Price leading the country in sacks and tackles for loss. Well, that one, I guess, would go for a tackle for loss, Tom. About a foot, lost about a foot there. Freddie Kiger does a great job of stats for us. Said that's a 0 game, so I guess we can't give him a tackle for loss.
Paul Johnson, 9th year on the sidelines for Georgia Tech. His team comes in at 3-2. Thomas got rid of it. Marcus Marshall up the sideline, and Marshall is inside the 40. That's 12 yards, and that should be a first down for the Jackets, and it is.
Roddy, when you talk about Roddy Jones on our sideline, Roddy, you talk about this Georgia Tech offense and perimeter blocking. It is a premium play. Seriously, the big play right there.
It definitely is, Arch. So much of what the offense does, it's based on getting those blocks. Both the receivers and the A-backs have to be able and willing to go out and cut those guys to the ground, and if not that, then you've got to stay up and drive them out to create those lanes to get away from the big fellas running inside out.
Boy, great word, willing. That's something you got to be willing to. You got to be willing to put your head in there and knock people off their feet.
Thomas keeps it. Shuffle step, shy of the 30. 7 yards for Justin Thomas. Idowu and Soto combining on the stop for Pittsburgh.
Pitt came up pointing like felt like the ball had been out. Idowu actually came up with a football. Interesting when we got a chance to talk to the Pitt coaches how they prepared for Georgia Tech. They had Navy in the bowl game. They played Georgia Tech obviously last year, but this is something they spend time on. Paul Johnson's offense is very difficult to prepare for, so you can't just get ready the week of the game. You got to get ready in camp. You got to get ready when you have opportunities, and they did that this year.
Try to go up the middle with Mills. Just a couple of yards and short of the first down as we check in with our Charlotte studios.
Thanks, Tom. Our update takes us to Raleigh and NC State on top of Notre Dame, Stan.
Yeah, playing in the rain is one thing. That's a monsoon. Points come at a premium. We'll take that 38-yard field goal if you're State. Kyle Bambard. Field goal stayed up, 3-zip.
It's an NC State team that has played some good football this year. Finley, the quarterback, playing outstanding. We know about the backs, Days and Samuels, and good start for the Wolfpack today.
Weather a factor at that game at NC State as Notre Dame makes its first ever trip to Raleigh. Thomas tries to turn the corner, and he will go out of bounds inside of the 25-yard line and get a first down for Georgia Tech. Price was able to force him out. 4 yards for Justin Thomas, the senior from Prattville, Alabama.
Yeah, that Roddy used a really good term when we were talking about the perimeter blocking, willing. You got to stick your head in there and be willing to block, or Paul Johnson's not going to put you on the field. Georgia Tech in this drive is blocking this really good Pitt defense. Remember, Pitt giving up only 69 yards a game in the run game. That's 4th best in the country. 11th play of the drive. This is one that they've strung together. Justin Thomas did a nice job directing traffic.
Trying to respond to that Pittsburgh touchdown early by O'Neal, the lineman. And the defense comes up big. watch out. Jordan Whitehead came in to finish off the play for Pittsburgh. It's just a yard for Georgia Tech.
Good flow defensively. Here's Galambos, the linebacker. He's going to shadow these outside toss plays. He's right on the play. Wraps up Mills, and Whitehead helps put him on the ground. Those are two guys, Whitehead and Galambos, that are going to have to be big-time players today. Freshman All-American Jordan Whitehead and Galambos the senior.
Dave, how about Galambos? This is his 45th game in a Pittsburgh Panther uniform, and they busted out the old school yellow and blue. Thomas flips it out. This is Mills. He's spun down inside the 20, maybe the 17-yard line, and 6 yards for Dedrick Mills. Dave, he's got 7 rushing touchdowns on the season. That's the best among freshmen in the football bowl subdivision.
Missed one game this year, was not allowed to play against Mercer for reasons the coach decided, so he's played 4 games, and he's done a nice job. He's put the ball in the end zone every game he's played.
And 3 with the clock continuing to roll. 4:33 to go in the first quarter. Justin Thomas, the Georgia Tech quarterback. Mills behind him. Thomas kept the ball and lost a couple of yards.
Well, Soto's going to make the play. We talked about the new 2 defensive tackles, Soto and Jarrett, big-time players. He's right here. He's going to knife through and make the play. And Justin Thomas felt like his read was to keep the ball there. Mills might have picked up the first down had he handed it off, but another tackle for loss for this Pitt defense.
Georgia Tech scores 88% of the time in the red zone. They're going to have to settle for a 37-yard attempt from Harrison Butker, the senior field goal kicker. And Butker has Georgia Tech on the board. He is now 3 for 3 on the season in field goal attempts. 7-3 Pittsburgh. Bojangles is on the menu around the ACC as fans tailgate. Getting ready for another big Saturday of college football. It's bow time at Bojangles. Grab a big bowl box and feed the whole group with Bojangles, chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea. Remember, it's always bow time when you're tailgating. Throughout the ACC. Here it's a little gray and overcast, but mild temperatures. Homecoming for the Pittsburgh Panthers, and a lot of that old school golden yellow and that blue, Dave, harkening back to the days of the national championship back in the mid-70s and 76 for the Panthers. That one will go through the end zone from Butker. There will be no return. The honorary captain for today's game, the former head coach, Johnny Majors, with James Conner, the coach of that 1976 national championship team. I'm sure he loves those uniforms. And we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. You're watching ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. 63 degrees at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Homecoming for the Panthers and a 7-3 lead. Tom Wormy, Dave Archer, Roddy Jones, former Georgia Tech running back on the sidelines.
You look at that first drive. Average yards on first down, 12.7. That'll have to change for Georgia Tech, and Pitt would love to keep that rolling. Tells you what Matt Canada's doing with his offense.
6 plays on that first scoring drive for the Panthers, culminating in the Brian O'Neill touchdown run down the far sideline. Nathan Peterman has to run it, trying to get to the sideline, and he's bumped out of bounds. A.J. Gray sent him out. Time for our Carolina Ford Keys to the game with Dave Archer.
Well, when you look at Georgia Tech, no negatives. We've already seen some negative yards plays. 30 negative plays have they given up offensively. They've got to prevent that. We talked about what Pitt's been able to do in their trench warfare. They are so big on the offensive line. They want to win that battle against Georgia Tech's offense. So really about a line of scrimmage type game for both these teams.
Officially 2nd and 8 after the scramble by Peterman. Stands in the pocket and delivers up near the 40, but it's incomplete. Jester Weah had it bounce off of his chest.
Really well-thrown ball by Peterman. Gets good protection. He's able to sit in the pocket and wait for the deep curl route. Play action. Stands tall, shoots to the inside, and that's Weah be the first guy to tell you I got to catch that ball. So we've seen two of the big receivers on the outside, one for Georgia Tech and one for Pitt, drop the football.
Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 10 years and over $4.5 billion raised for education. It is now 3rd and 8. First time the Panthers have been in this situation, and it looks like they will convert. Short of the 40, incomplete. Quadri Henderson on the pass from Peterman.
Working against Lamont Simmons. There's the push by Tipton to the outside, but Henderson to the inside working against Simmons. It's a contested catch. Simmons is right in his hip pocket. Excellent throw by Peterman to the inside shoulder, but a really nice job at the top of the route by Henderson to catch the ball.
That's 11 yards, and Pat Narduzzi has another first down in his 2nd season on the sideline for the Pittsburgh Panthers. Aston near the 45, punishing. Ran into Rod Rukchungang.
Came in with 10 carries on the year. He's scored 4 touchdowns, so he's been a short yardage and goal line type guy, but they're getting a little bit of mileage, Tom, out of this retrace motion. See Ted Roof there, the defensive coordinator, talking to David Curry, the freshman linebacker. Hey, you got to follow that guy on that retrace motion. They've gotten a little bit of yardage out of that.
Ted Roof is in his 4th season as the Georgia Tech defensive coordinator. Spent some time in the state of Pennsylvania as the defensive coordinator at Penn State. James Conner stumbles down short of the 45-yard line.
Conner on the carry.
Nice play defensive end-wise by Keyshawn Freeman. But talk about James Conner. When you look at James Conner, Roddy, the story is unbelievable. Talk about James Conner.
Arch, when we talked to Juan Price yesterday, he said James Conner was one of his best friends on the team, and said not only is his story inspirational, but the journey that James Conner went to as his best friends and his family, they went through it too, the ups and the downs, but he has certainly been an inspiration, not just to his teammates, but to this whole Pitt community.
Peterman, complete adjustment by Aaron Matthews, 7 yards, first down Pittsburgh.
Well, key is ball placement. You got tight coverage. Watch where Nathan Peterman, where the ball placement is here. Has to be on the outside shoulder. That's exactly where it is. No chance for Austin to make the play. An excellent catch, but a really well-thrown ball.
Aaron Matthews, the freshman from Clairton, Pennsylvania. Great catch for a first down, moving the ball into Georgia Tech territory. Moss is the running back. Peterman wants to hang on to it. Just flips it off to Aston, who got rocked out of bounds after he made the catch. Freeman made the tackle. 3 yards on the play. Here's Around the ACC, Dave, presented by Mattress Firm.
Well, we saw the win last night. Clemson looked dominant against Boston College. We talked about North Carolina State, Notre Dame, and the games coming up later on. Florida State, Miami, obviously huge impact. But how about Virginia Tech and North Carolina in the Coastal? Was just an outstanding job, outstanding slate of games coming up later on.
They are dealing with a lot of weather, though, in the state of North Carolina, so we'll keep an eye on those games as the day progresses weather-wise. This is Moss. He'll come up just a little bit short of the first down as P.J. Davis made the tackle. 5 yards for Shantez Moss, the freshman from Bedford, Ohio, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. A series that dates back to 1918. The 2016 renewal, 7-3 Pittsburgh. Our first quarter stats are brought to you by Flonase as Pittsburgh, Dave, faces another third down situation. They've been perfect so far in the game.
Well, and part of it is because what they're doing on first down, 9.1 yards per first down play. Pitt stayed in perfect situations for Matt Canada to call plays, and this is another one here in 3rd and 2.
Ninth play of the drive right here for Pittsburgh. 3rd down as we start the second quarter. Peterman dumps it off. Complete. Moss. First down Pittsburgh near the 30-yard line of Georgia Tech.
Love the call. Matt Canada again. The new offensive coordinator comes over from NC State. Just going to slip Moss out. It's a hot read. You got players coming. Georgia Tech drops coverage. Obviously one of those two guys rushing, whether it was Freeman or P.J. Davis, somebody had to be there for Moss. Nobody home. Nice read by Peterman to get it out. And it's a nice call there, expecting Georgia Tech to sell out to try to stop 3rd and short.
Moss rushed for 97 yards last week in a win against Marshall here at Heinz Field, 43-27. Now it's Aston. He's cut down short of the 30, though kept his feet, though, and got inside close to the 29. Corey Griffin cut him down. After all that, it's just a yard for Aston.
Yeah, watch 52 now. Good job there to force the play wide by Lewis, and then up comes Corey Griffin, the guy we talked about in our Food Line Impact players. Corey Griffin was going to have to get up and get involved in the run game, and did right there. They've caused Georgia Tech a few problems with this kind of jet sweep motion. Ted Reef starting to sort it out, trying to make sure people stay at home on the perimeter.
2nd and 9. Peterman pressured. Got it away and complete. Aston again. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. There is a penalty flag well behind the play.
Lewis is going to get flagged for roughing the passer here.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 52 defense. Penalty is added on from the end of the play. First down.
Lewis on him right away. Yeah, you can't plant him. He was fine as long as he wrapped him up. But when he turned him and planted him, that's where the penalty's going to come. And Peterman took exception to it. A little shove into the ground. Can't do that anymore. There was a day back in Pittsburgh that there was a team that played at Three River Stadium that got away with that all the time. They don't do that anymore.
Nathan Peterman, senior from Jacksonville, Florida. Trying some misdirection. Now Moss dragged down by his ankles. Freeman made the tackle. Back to the studio, Katie, where it's a little wet in Raleigh.
Oh, it's so, I mean, take a look at this, guys. And Coach, they can't even snap the ball in this game.
Well, there's a difference between rain and monsoon, but right now, you don't want to adjust the center quarterback exchange.
So, Coach, right now, 1 official turnover, but 4 fumbles in this game. Tom, Dave, can you imagine?
Well, unfortunately, I've had to play in some rain, not as heavy as that is, and our thoughts and prayers go out to all those who were affected by Hurricane Matthew this week.
Ground game. Moss sheds a man and gets inside the 5. That's Shantez Moss, the freshman.
It's a kid they're really excited about, Tom, the freshman, Moss. True freshman, watch the patience, waits, shook P.J. Davis into the ground, and then Austin has to save the touchdown. But that movement, that lateral movement is something they're really excited about with Moss. Bedford, Ohio native, Bedford High School, was an outstanding high school player, and he's showing it at this level as well.
19 touchdowns in 23 trips to the red zone. And now to the far side and a score. Quadri Olison into the end zone untouched from 4 yards away for the Pitt TD.
Now, Tom, how about the stable of running backs they've got? Roddy Jones talked about it off the top. The different guys Pitt can give the football to. Here's Olison, who had a Rookie of the Year campaign a year ago in the ACC, running the football over 1,000 yards. He's handed the ball in the jet sweep, and he shoves it in the end zone. But we saw Moss, we've seen Connor, we've seen Olison. Boy, they've got Henderson. They've given a lot of guys the football.
His first rush of the game produces a touchdown as Blewett adds the extra point.
Now, Pitt has their old school uniforms on, and you'd swear Tony Dorsett's on campus. No, they've got a bunch of guys that can tone it just like Tony D.
ACC football is being brought to you by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. By Coyote Tractor. By Hardee's. And by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Yeah, basketball season not far away. The throwback throwdown this morning right outside the stadium. Celebrating Pitt's men's and women's basketball programs. Kevin Stallings is the new first-year head coach. Bill Raftery, the legendary college basketball analyst, also on hand. Susie McConnell-Serio to the right of your screen. She's the head coach of the women's program at Pittsburgh. And they are looking forward to the upcoming season. The men's team perennially participating in the NCAA tournament, and they were there last year also.
Pitt's had an outstanding basketball program for a number of years, and new head coach, as you just mentioned, and I know the Panther fans are excited. Do you think that Rafferty opened up the evening by saying, and Pitt will open the game up man-to-man with a kiss?
Maybe not. Peterson Event Center, by the way, if you ever have a chance to go there to watch a game, myself and you know, for me to call a game, it is one of the best places to go.
Well, it's the zoo,
in the country.
Right?
It is the Oakland Zoo, open neighborhood in Pittsburgh. Yep. The Oakland Zoo, the student section. They sit about 5 feet behind us, and they just shower us with all kinds of different things, newspaper clippings and what have you, and they really get into the game. All right, here's the return from Green. He's going up the sideline. Green continues, gets the block. It's J.J. Green, and he will go all the way for Georgia Tech. 96 yards on the return for the score.
Wow, what a shot in the arm for Georgia Tech. This is a game that Pitt has dominated, moved the football, taking control of the game, and that's why special teams want to watch the move just as he starts to see Pitt defenders right here. Boom, foot in the ground. And then J.J. Green, the Georgia Bulldog transfer, turns on the Jets, gets a little bump right there. But really, it was about Green with a great speed to shove it in the end zone. And Georgia Tech, that quick, right back in the game.
How about J.J. Green going all the way for Georgia Tech? Butker is in for the extra point.
Talk about the 3 phases of the game, and coaches will preach it. You cannot let your guard down, cannot fall asleep, because at any moment you can make a play.
Dave, that return from Green is the longest in school history, 96 yards.
The longest in school history for Georgia Tech, and Tech's been around a long time. J.J. Green doing it for the other team. Tech back in the game.
You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports, also streaming live on the ACC.com and the official ACC mobile app. Today's coverage of ACC football being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries and on the high seas. So proud to have you with us and hope you're enjoying the broadcast.
Been a fun game so far, Tom. It's a lot of plays made by a lot of different people that you talk about impact players. This is one of them right here. We just saw J.J. Green go back. This kid could take it the other way as quick.
Best in the conference, Quadri Henderson, as far as kick return average is concerned. 36 yards per return. And he will take this one as he straddles his own goal line. 25. Henderson spun down just beyond the 30-yard line. Dave, Georgia Tech has been playing football since 1892, the longest kick return for a TD.
You talk about lane integrity. You got to leverage the football. Everybody for Pitt's inside except one defender, and J.J. Green puts his foot in the ground, makes him miss, and he's off to the races with the great speed. So a breakdown in the coverage unit. They did not find the football, leveraged the ball, and J.J. Green made him pay.
Great block up ahead, too, by Jalen Johnson. And J.J. Green's return is the first of the season for a touchdown for Georgia Tech. Moss. A running lane. And Moss up close to the 45-yard line. First down, 13 yards down to Roddy.
Tom, Shantez Moss is the guy that they're certainly excited about. The coaches told us that he's got great big play ability that they are really pumped to see. You see right here on this play, on the last play, the explosion up the middle. And Coach Pat Narduzzi told us that in the spring when they did their draft, Shantez Moss was the #1 overall running back taken. James Conner, of course, did not play, but Moss, the redshirt freshman, has really impressed his teammates as well.
It's going to be Moss again.
Ronnie, when you talk about Moss, I mentioned Bedford, Ohio, Bedford High School. In his last 2 years, junior and senior year, over 3,000 yards rushing, including a sophomore year that was over 2,000 yards. This is a prolific runner at the high school level, and we're already seeing it transfer to this level. I know they're excited here at Pitt. They have Shantez Moss carrying the ball.
5 carries, 36 yards so far for Shantez Moss. James Conner, the running back for Pittsburgh. Conner Dragged down at the 45-yard line. Simmons made the tackle for Georgia Tech. And James Conner, 5 yards on the play. And Dave, his story has been very well documented. But James Conner had a knee injury in the first game of the year last year. Upon that further investigation, the diagnosis for Hodgkin's lymphoma, but he has battled his way all the way back into a Pittsburgh uniform and playing this season.
And talking to the coaches, they feel like James Conner is even more of a leader coming back than with everything he's gone through. The guys have a ton of respect for him, obviously, and boy, he looks good. It's fun to have him back on the field.
Peterman has to escape that crumbling pocket. He will run. A flag comes out behind the play. Peterman down the sideline and inside the 25-yard line. But again, a flag was thrown well behind the play after the run by Peterman.
10-yard penalty. First down.
And it will be against Pittsburgh and negate that run of some 20 yards for Peterman. Our referee today is Jerry Magallanes on the call.
Play fake. Orndorff gets a good block on the corner blitz. And this is something Peterman does do a ton of. But when he does pull it down, athletic enough to get up the field. But unfortunately for Pitt, it comes back. And I think Brian O'Neill was flagged for the hold right there. He's the guy that caught the screen and ran for a touchdown.
If you are just joining us, Pittsburgh scored on its first drive, 6 plays, and it was a lateral from Peterman to Brian O'Neill, the lineman, number 70. Here he is in the right of your picture. He went 24 yards and scored the first touchdown of the game for Pittsburgh. Peterman continues with that high percentage, flicks it forward to Aston. A flag is out as Aston goes into Georgia Tech territory. He's inside the 45. Freeman made the tackle, but there is a flag.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 83 offense was covered up. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So after that penalty, here's our Coca-Cola ACC standings. And North Carolina and Virginia Tech head-to-head today, Dave, at a key coastal matchup.
Yeah, North Carolina, Miami, Virginia Tech all play each over the next couple of weeks. We see Pitt and Georgia Tech. Both these teams feel like they can get the ship righted. When you look at the other side of the conference, Clemson has been outstanding. What a battle between Louisville and Clemson a week ago. But NC State doing a nice job of hanging in there. And, of course, Florida State, Miami later on tonight. So a lot of action across the ACC coming up.
Florida State has won 6 straight in that series with the Miami Hurricanes under first-year head coach Mark Richt. Pat Narduzzi is the second-year head coach for the Panthers.
Yeah, Coach Narduzzi a little unsure about the ineligible man downfield. Orndorff was covered up by a receiver lined up outside of him and released down the field. Remember, the shovel is a shovel pass. It's considered a forward pass, not a pitch. And if an eligible man moves beyond that 3-yard barrier, it's going to be an eligible man downfield. See if we can see Orndorff here. Orndorff lined up right here. Now he's lined up right here. He's covered up by the outside receiver. And he released down the field. So just an improper lineup by the outside receiver covering Orndorff up, which made him eligible to release down the field.
Orndorff is a senior from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. They march off the penalty, and the ball is now spotted at the 41 of the Panthers. And we'll call it 1st and 25 as the clock continues to roll. 9:30 to go in the first half. 1st and 25. Peterman out of the shotgun. Peterman gave it off to Tipton. Goes around the corner, cannot get to midfield. Knocked out of bounds by Corey Griffin. He got 7 on the play.
You know, we talk about James Conner and his ability to run the football. Sometimes it's Conner helping his teammates out. Tipton gets some help on the perimeter. Watch number 24 lead block on this play. Just destroys the running back right here. The defensive back right there out in front. And Tipton's up the field for a nice gain on that 1st and long. But Conner doing a heck of a lot more. Sorry, a heck of a lot more than just carrying the football. Boy, he's fun.
Yes, he is.
He's a fun guy to watch play.
2nd and 18. It's still 2nd and long for Pittsburgh. Peterman to the sideline. The catch made. Jester Weah. Good, 11 yards, Dave.
Yeah, Tom, good timing throw to the sideline to Weah. Going to toe tap the sideline. It's something they work on each and every week. Receiver skills, you toe tap, get the foot down, official right on it, and Weah gets the completion, and now you're back to a third manageable situation.
How about Weah's day last week against Marshall, Dave? 7 catches, 176 yards, both of those career highs for the young man. That included a touchdown of 54 yards with just over a minute to play against Marshall. Here's Peterman. That pass on schedule, and it's Weah again, and it's a first down Panthers.
Tom, when you talk about serving up a pass, that's what you get. Let's take a look at the protection up front for Nathan Peterman. Peterman going to sit in there. It's a short drop, short route. Has the ability to stand in there and watch where he places the football here. Wow. That's like handing the football to an outside receiver. Peterman with an excellent throw and a good job by Weah to squeeze it.
First down for the Panthers. James Conner in at running back. Just inside the 25 of Georgia Tech. Conner had a steam, and he busts his way down to the 15. Give him the 14. Lance Austin had to meet him there at the spot, 9 yards for James Conner.
Talked about this gigantic offensive line in front of Conner, and they're really taking effect of this Georgia Tech front 7. And Conner, the first guy to see Conner is a defensive back, Lance Austin. That's not a good sight when you got 235 pounds coming downhill.
Not a good sight for Georgia Tech also. That is Corey Griffin in the defensive backfield. So they'll tend to him, and we'll be back after word from your local ACC station. There's Corey Griffin, who did leave the field under his own strength. Number 14 in the defensive backfield for Georgia Tech. He will be attended to Lawrence Austin, along with his twin brother Lance, now in the secondary.
Yeah, Austin comes in. He's played a lot of football for Corey Griffin. But Corey Griffin, one of those guys that's helped out. Had 9 tackles against Clemson a couple of weeks ago. Talk about ball control, Tom. Look at 27 plays. The time is relatively the same, but the plays, that's what wears down. You got a big offensive line like Pitt. 27 plays against this Tech defense.
First and 10 for the Panthers from the 14. Conner gets to the 10-yard line. 4 yards for James Conner.
And this is an area you talked about Pitt in their red zone offense, which is very good. This is a Georgia Tech defense that's been outstanding in the red zone as well. Teams only scoring 46% of the time when you get down here. And that's really been one of the big changes for Georgia Tech. You see the red zone numbers for Pitt offensively. Very good. 19 touchdowns and 23 trips. But for Georgia Tech, they've seen 13 trips. They've only given up 6 touchdowns. So it's a good job. They've done a nice job under Ted Reed.
2nd and 6. Henderson to the end zone for the Panthers. 10 yards and a score for Pitt.
Tom, think about the attack. You're going to hand the ball or a little play fake to the 2014 ACC Player of the Year in James Conner. A lot of concentration of Conner. Here's Conner. He's going to make that little step and play fake. A lot of people paying attention there. Well, number 10 slips out the back door and puts it in the end zone.
Third rushing touchdown of the game for the Panthers, and now 21-10 over Georgia Tech in the second.
Tom, you got to pick your poison. Which guy are you going to defend? Well, you better find number 10. He's number 5 in the country in all-purpose yards. Back at Heinz Field, where Pitt has extended their lead to 21-10, and you look at the scoring drive, excellent scoring drive, 9 plays, 69 yards, myriad of players getting involved, but Quadre Henderson shows one in the end zone for the 3rd rushing touchdown of the game for Pitt.
J.J. Green on the previous kick return took it 96 yards for the return touchdown. And we did a little bit more digging in that Georgia Tech media guide. We found a return of 102 yards back in 1918. A guy by the name of Scarborough ran it back.
Can't forget Scarborough.
Yeah, Dewey Scarborough against Georgetown in 1919. There will be no return. Let's go back to our Charlotte studios.
Thanks, Tom. Let's head to NC State. And, Coach, this has been a messy game.
Passing attack is what suffers with a wet ball. Here, Deshaun Kaiser picked off by Jarius Moorhead. Right now, Wolfpack is driving on Notre Dame.
He picked that off on the 1-yard line. NC State up 3-0 over Notre Dame. Tom, Dave.
Katie, thank you. You know, those teams have only played once ever, Dave, and that was back at the end of the 2002 season at the Gator Bowl, where the Wolfpack beat Notre Dame in that bowl game 28-6.
That's one of those games where you look outside, you think, okay, I'm going to go out and play in the yard. It's raining. Like, you don't even do that. So these guys are having to play a game in weather you probably wouldn't play in any time.
Temperatures in the low 60s, gray and overcast, but no precipitation here at Heinz Field at the confluence of the Allegheny and Monongahela to form the Ohio River here at Heinz Field.
Talk about disciplined football. Soto, 52, is going to play off the block right there. Slim to the inside. Good job of staying at home. Everybody taking care of their job from a Pitt defensive standpoint. And really the story right now for Pitt defensively are the two interior guys. When you start talking about Soto and Jarrett, those two interior tackles are giving Georgia Tech some problems.
60 yards in total rushing for Georgia Tech, trying to add to it, and they will. Just a little bit for Clinton Lynch. How about that closing speed from Juan Price, one of the captains of this team? His teammates, Dave, say, quiet, mild-mannered when you speak to him. He changes when he gets on the field.
Fun to talk to this kid. He talked about how he was going to have to be disciplined, couldn't freelance, does a nice job, shows the athleticism, get to the outside. I asked him, hey, do you run into James Harrison at all? When you say they share the same facility, he says, no, you don't ever talk to James Harrison. He's a bad man. You see the sack numbers in the ACC.
That's our Haviland defensive shield. Not approachable, I think, was the word he used about James Harrison. Justin Thomas still has the football. It's going to take 2 and 3 blue jerseys to bring him down. Jordan Whitehead, number 9 in the middle of that. Justin Thomas goes 14 yards and a first down for Georgia Tech.
I think this is a Georgia Tech offense, and Roddy, when they're at their best is when Justin Thomas is aggressive running the football.
We had a chance to talk to the quarterbacks coach, Brian Cook, before the game, and he stressed that Justin getting downhill, and that means not stringing things out towards the sideline, being decisive and getting up the field was a key to not only getting Justin going, but also getting those A-backs going on the perimeter so they can get downhill with the pitch as well.
Lynn Griffin, midfield, and dropped. First down. Very close to it for Griffin. They're going to give him about 10 yards on the play, and yes, it will be a first down, Dave Archer.
Watch how quickly and how wide this toss play is before Pitt is able to react. The ball is already outside the tackle box when Griffin catches the football. They've outflanked the Pitt defense. I don't think anybody in the country does the wide toss play better than Paul Johnson's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
First carry of the game for Griffin, just his 9th of the season. He does average over 5 yards per carry and got the first down for Georgia Tech on the previous play. They'll go up the middle with Dedrick Mills. 4 yards. Well, the 2016 Dr. Pepper ACC Football Championship game headed to Orlando on December 3rd. Public ticket sales begin on Monday. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Camping World Stadium will be the site of the ACC Championship game. Last year won by the Clemson Tigers against North Carolina in Charlotte.
The people of Orlando, hopefully they've weathered the storm down there. It's been tough on them, but that stadium has been refurbished.
You heard the crowd react. Matt Galambos lowers the boom on the stick of Quake Searcy.
You know, Tom, we got a chance to talk to Josh Conklin, the defensive coordinator. He said he walked by Galambos today, or this week, and said, hey, this might be your week, big boy. And, boy, you saw it right there as he's coming downhill to make a play.
There is a Pittsburgh player down.
Looks like Avonte Maddox, their all-everything corner, the sophomore. Let's take a look. Galambos going to flow downhill. Nobody touches him on the block, and a big hit on Quay Searcy. Talked about how these defenses that get prepared for Paul Johnson's offense have to get ready for the cut blocking and all the kind of things that you don't see every day. And hopefully
that is Avonte Maddox, who did have an interception return for a touchdown. And we'll be back after word from the Atlantic Coast Conference. Back here at Heinz Field, the Panthers with a 21-10 lead over visiting Georgia Tech. That's Avonte Maddox, who was down on the field, but now appearing to walk off under his own strength and being helped off by the training and medical staff.
Let's take a look at it. It's on the outside right of your screen. Maddox is going to put his left hand in the ground as he's getting blocked. He's going to hyperextend the left elbow right here. Hyperextension of the elbow. Boy, you hope that that's not a dislocation. Just trying to stay up and keep himself available to stop the run game. And boy, when you look at the stats and you talk about Maddox, you see him going back inside. Hopefully, Avonte Maddox will be able to get back on the field here at some point for Pitt. But he shows up in all their stats. Tackles for loss, sacks, interceptions. He does an outstanding job at the corner spot.
Interception return for a touchdown on the last play of the game last week against Marshall in the 43-27 win at home for Pittsburgh. This is third down for Georgia Tech. 3:15 to go in the second quarter. Play clock is at 10. Something just didn't look right at the snap, and there was a timeout called.
Timeout. Georgia Tech, their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
Well, big play here for this Georgia Tech offense. They realize they're having a tough time slowing Pitt down. So premium when you have the football. And Paul realizes that they're in a situation where, Tom, I think that if they can get somewhere in that 5-6 yard range, they're probably going to go for it here on fourth down.
All right, Dave, it's time for the Ram Power Play, brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. And you want to talk about power, Dave? How about last Saturday, Jordan Mack against Daniel Jones of Duke?
I don't know how he got up. We did the game. I don't know how Daniel Jones got up after this hit. It's as vicious a shot. Clean shot, by the way. See the helmet, the face mask of the helmet hits Nelson Kennedy, or hits Jones right in the chest. Just a big-time hit. Roddy, it's as good a hit as I've seen.
Arch, I was standing down in the end zone when that hit happened. Daniel Jones almost did a backflip, and you said it. I didn't think the kid would get up, but he got up immediately, jogged off the field. Next time, I'm pretty sure he's going to check the front side when they bring a blitz, Arch.
The Ram Power Play brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. That was an eventual win, 34-20 for Virginia. Georgia Tech now on 3rd and 7. They're going to be a little bit short. It was Dedrick Mills on the carry. Got 6 yards, but again came up a long yard short.
But it's a go-for-it situation. And another player down. Looks like Clock, the left tackle, who moved from right tackle to left tackle. He's had a lot of injury issues this season. Tom, they finally got him back on the field. He'd been playing some right tackle. Hadn't played much since the Vandy game a couple of games ago. But you see he's in some pain. They really like what Trey Clock does for him, and they moved him to that left side.
Clock is a sophomore from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania, in central Pennsylvania.
And again, why do you run the B back there? Get some good push, get it to a 4th and short, and I don't think there's any question Coach Johnson's going to go for it here on 4th down.
While we wait, let's check in our Charlotte studios and see what's coming up at halftime.
Oh, lots coming up at halftime, Tom. Specifically, Coach, we got to take a look at this rain game happening at NC State.
Difference between rain and monsoon. This is monsoon, but not only are you concerned about ball handling, but also the footing. The footing is really bad because of standing water on the field. Look, that really affect how offenses attack in the second half.
And we're also going to look at that rivalry game tonight.
Doesn't get much better. Florida State at Miami. Is Mark Richt and the Canes for real? We'll find out.
Lots of other games in action. We will take a look at all the highlights, get you updated, so make sure to keep it right here at halftime. Tom, Dave, back to you guys.
How many games do you think Coach Bowden's coached? Those are great games for the coaches. That's solid coaching when you coach and win in those kind of games. We see Trey Clock get up kind of gingerly. Looks like they were taking a look at one of his ankles. They were excited to have him back, and hopefully he can walk that off and get back out on the field.
Again, we look forward to the comments from Stan and Tommy and Katie at halftime. Here's our AP Top 25. It's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Dave, 6 teams in the ACC in the top 25. The first time since the mid-2000s they have populated the top 25 in the AP.
Yeah, and you got 3 across the board, 3 on the Coastal, 3 in the Atlantic. So it's dispersed pretty well. So it's kind of neat to see both sides of the conference performing at a high level. And now some of these teams are going to start mixing it up.
It is 4th down for Georgia Tech. 4th and 1. They have gone for it this season 9 times and made it 5 times on 4th down. They'll toss it out wide. Second effort. Green Awfully close. Needed to get to the 36-yard line.
Boy, Bam Bradley, the linebacker, makes the initial hit short of the first down. And does J.J. Green battle enough to get it there? And they're going to have to take a look. Well, watch number 4, Bam Bradley. Lined up just inside, arcs out. He's going to knife inside the block of Braun. Makes the hit initially. And then good second effort by Green. Lambos tries to make sure he doesn't get there. Well, boy, how did the officials see where the ball went out of bounds to spot it? Yeah, this is a huge moment, I think, for Georgia Tech. Having a tough time getting Pitt stopped. They want to stay on the field offensively. I don't know. That's a tough angle for us to look. The officials are even having to get down and look at it, and they give them the first down. Well, much like they measure your vertical jump, Tom, they use the credit card, and they put the credit card in there, and the credit card brushed the nose of the ball, and so it's a first down.
Well, that's great for Georgia Tech, but Pittsburgh, all the players were around the measurement, and they were saying that Pittsburgh was taking over on downs. The officials did not agree.
No, they did not, and it was on Pitt's sideline, so give the officials credit. They got the measurement right as they're in their minds. They were not influenced by the Pitt sideline. No question, Georgia Tech running the football. 17 straight running plays. Just throwing the ball 2 times on the year.
Now the Panthers have decided to take a timeout.
Yeah, these are tough challenges. You got to challenge a spot.
So there's 2:27 to go in the second quarter. Now Pat Narduzzi has been through some close games recently, Dave, and this was a close spot.
I just don't know that these are so hard to get a spot on where the ball is. It looks like he's just shy of the 36-yard line, which is where the ball's spotted. So are you going to be able to see enough? Good play by Bradley Ford to come across and make the initial hit, and then excellent effort by J.J. Green, and he rotates around. Galambos is going to hit him in the back. Just nothing there that is going to tell you, okay, I need the ball, move the ball back a foot or a half a yard. I don't see anything there. Here's a look from our all-22 camera up top.
Dave, it's tremendous effort by all players involved as Green was trying to forge forward to get those necessary inches, and Galambos came in, made the hit. Clinton Lynch threw a block on Jordan Whitehead. I mean, it was a great play all around as they were fighting for that first down on 4th down for Georgia Tech.
Well, we talked about trench warfare, and that extends from sideline to sideline on these plays. There's Galambos trying to make sure that Green doesn't get there, but I mean, it's where the ball is forward progress if he is pushed back by Galambos there. And the official judged that Green had made it just shy of the 36-yard line, which is where the ball's spotted.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It is the first down. Pittsburgh was charged their first time out of the half and exhausted their challenge for the remainder of the game.
The official word from Jerry Magallanes. So the challenge unsuccessful for Pat Narduzzi.
And it's not a bad idea by Pat Narduzzi. He realizes he might have Georgia Tech a little bit on the ropes here. So to go ahead and challenge, he loses a timeout, but maybe something definitive would have been seen there. They could have marked the ball back a little bit. So I like the challenge, but a good call by Georgia Tech to go for it there.
This will be the 9th play of the drive for Georgia Tech. 2:27 to go in the second quarter. Thomas drops it off. Green short of the 30. That's 5 yards for J.J. Green. Ryan Lewis made the tackle for Pittsburgh.
Little counter option play. Try to get Galambos moving towards the right. Here's Galambos here. He's supposed to be shadowing that play. He's ultimately going to get in on the play. But good hard running, good blocking by Willis on the outside.
10th play of this drive. Justin Thomas, just the 3rd pass of the game, looking for the end zone. The catch is made, and a touchdown. Ricky June has it for Georgia Tech, and 31 yards for the score.
Tom, we talked about how Georgia Tech had run the ball, 18 straight times, and all of a sudden, when you start to fall asleep on the outside, Justin Thomas chucks one down the field. Nice high-point catch, but just a nice job of maybe lulling the Pitt defense to sleep a little bit by Paul Johnson there. First time they've thrown the ball since the third play of the game. And that's what you're going to get in the passing game for Georgia Tech. You're going to get a shot here or there, and they have to depend on these big receivers, and June is one of those. It's 6'3", 215 pounds to go up and catch the football.
Third TD pass of the season for Justin Thomas, and Ricky June with that grab, his first TD catch of the year. It's Harrison Butker who's waiting to attempt the extra point and make it just a 4-point game with 1:48 to go in the second. 31 yards on the TD collaboration. Justin Thomas to Ricky June with a fantastic grab.
Well, it's been a battle along the line of scrimmage when you talk about how they're playing the football game. And all of a sudden, Justin Thomas steps back and just throws a high ball to the 6'3" June, who does a good job of positioning himself, high points the ball, and is able to squeeze it right in front of Ryan Lewis. It's an excellent concentration. Lewis is right there defensively. Just can't get his hand around the ball. Give June all the credit. It's just a jump ball, Tom. Just a jump ball type scenario. And you love the way June competes there. Lewis as well. But the bigger man is able to make the catch. Now, Justin Thomas coming into the game. We talked about he needed some help. Where are they going to help him? Some guys make some plays in the run game. Can somebody step up and catch a pass or two for Justin Thomas? And we've seen that today. He's gotten some help from his special teams. And then you see the scoring drive, 75 yards, 10 plays, and that throw at the end, 31 yards to June. Ricky June stepped up a couple times and helped his quarterback out today.
Anderson waits for the kickoff. Justin Thomas with his 35th career touchdown pass. 5th best in school history at Georgia Tech. Henderson from the 2. Runs into a roadblock at the 21 and driven backwards. Officially a 20-yard return. Chase Alford making the tackle for Georgia Tech on special teams.
Now, let's see how Pitt has done a nice job of answering offensively. They gave up the big kickoff return, came right back offensively. Georgia Tech's defense has had a tough time handling Nathan Peterman in this Pitt defense, or Pitt offense. Have they come up with something? Ted Roof come up with something to try to slow Pitt down offensively?
Dave, next Saturday we'll see this Pittsburgh team in action again. They are at Virginia. Blitz at noon, and then ACC Network football presented by Mellow Mushroom will be in Charlottesville. Peterman chased, had to get rid of it. Ball deflected as Lance Austin anticipated that pass, which was targeted for Orndorff and almost made the play on it.
Boy, excellent pressure coming off the backside by Simmons. He gets around the legs of Peterman, and an ill-advised late throw to the sideline. This should have been a pick 6. Austin drops the football. Lance Austin, the guy that scooped up the missed field goal against Florida State and ran for a touchdown, wishes he had that chance one more time. Wow, you're not going to get a better opportunity for a pick 6 than that.
2nd and 10. That's Moss. We got 6 yards on that one, Dave.
And sometimes, as an offensive coordinator, you're Matt Canada, and they trust Nathan Peterman to the nth degree. But you throw one out there like that, the next play, you're guaranteed a running play. He's not throwing it again. So here on 3rd down, they're bleeding the clock a little bit. Call a play here that's a conservative play. If they do get a first down, then they might shift gears and get into the no huddle. But you can bet that Matt Canada swallowed pretty hard after that last throw by Peterman.
Pittsburgh has converted all 4 of its 3rd down situations. This is 3rd and 4. That one incomplete at the 30, and that one was sent in the vicinity of Orndorff, but Brant Mitchell knocked it down, number 51 in the white jersey.
Yeah, not a real good series that time. Kind of got back on their heels after the ill-advised throw by Peterman, and then he tried to push one to the inside. Mitchell, the sophomore linebacker, had an excellent year a year ago, and now is starting inside linebacker for this Tech team. So good stop for Georgia Tech defensively.
Winslow will punt. Dave, that's the first 3 and out of our game. This is the first punt. Brad Stewart is the deep man for Georgia Tech. Retreats to his 25. Makes the first man miss. Stewart. And drop up at the 33. 47-yard punt and the return. 8 yards for Stewart.
Well, here's the cautionary tale now for Paul Johnson. Do you have a play where you feel like you can pick up a chunk yardage play, maybe getting Justin Thomas outside the pocket with a run-pass option? I don't think you necessarily want to give up on the half. You still have 2 timeouts left and 33-yard line's decent field position. Butker, a pretty good field goal kicker, so if you pick up about 35 yards here, you can put him in position for a long field goal.
Last time the teams played here in Pittsburgh, October of 2014, it was a win for Georgia Tech, 56-28. That pass complete. At the sideline, it's Ricky June again. 10 yards for Ricky June.
It's the part of Justin Thomas's game that doesn't get enough credit. He does throw the ball well. He's an option quarterback. I get that. But he can shoot it now if he's got a decent pocket to throw it from. And a nice job by June again, going up and getting the ball. Still 2 timeouts for Georgia Tech.
Third catch of the game for Ricky June. 28 seconds to go in the half. Thomas, he will be dropped with a sack. That pocket collapsing on top of Thomas. Mike Herndon, number 66. You saw Price in there also, and it's a sack for Pittsburgh.
And we talked about clock leaving the game with the ankle injury. Eason Froymoyen comes in at left tackle and completely whiffs. It doesn't take care of his job on the outside, and Price is able to get in there and force Thomas back to the inside. So, boy, Paul Johnson was livid coming in to meet his offense who was coming off the field there.
That was a loss of 5 on that play with 22 seconds to go in the first half.
That's the 3rd play of the game. We talked about tackles for loss. That's the 20th sack of the year for Pitt. They came in with 30 tackles for loss. Add 3 more to that. 3 tackles for loss today. So Pat Narduzzi's team, fun to talk to Pat yesterday because, boy, you talk about a guy that's frothing at the mouth in meetings. You can only imagine what he's like on a sideline. You love to play for a guy like that. He was fired up for this game when we got a chance to talk to him. He could have played it about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
Well, he was talking about their 2 losses this season by a combined 8 points at North Carolina and at Oklahoma State. Thomas sprints to his left and lets it fly. A man is wide open inside the 35, and it's Clinton Lynch. And there's 15 seconds left on the clock.
Well, the key play is the block on the perimeter on Juan Price. Gives Justin Thomas time. Watch the block right here. There's the block that's going to free Thomas to get to the perimeter. Now he can set his feet and shoot it down the sideline on the wheel route. And now they're in a nice position here. Remember, 2 timeouts still, one timeout in their pocket. They can afford to run the football here, get a little bit more yardage, and put Butker in a position to kick a field goal.
That catch for Lynch went for 29 yards on the pass from Justin Thomas. He'll let it fly again. That is complete. Brad Stewart just short of the first down marker. He got 9, but the clock is still rolling.
Well, he was pushed out of bounds. It was a timeout signal when he went out of bounds. So official clock keeper here did not keep that. You see the official right there. The signal was signaling a timeout. So
they're going to add 6 seconds to the clock.
How about this 2-minute O, this no-huddle O? Paul Johnson, a lot of times his offense draws some criticism that can't move the ball in a no-huddle situation. Well, you know what? Yes, they can. You block people and give Thomas an opportunity. He can distribute the ball.
Justin Thomas, 5 of 6 through the air. 93 yards in that TD pass to Ricky June for 31 yards late in the second quarter. Looks like Butker will come on for another field goal attempt. He has already made one from 37 yards away, and that was in the first quarter.
You know, Paul Johnson doesn't get enough credit. He gets credit for this offense that he's designed. He was born in an offense that threw it all over the yard. Spent time in Hawaii. They had run and shoot principles in that. He's got a lot of background in a lot of different ways to run offensive football. Obviously, is the father of the offense that was at Georgia Southern, at Navy, and here at Georgia Tech. But he knows how to distribute the football in the passing game. It comes down to guys executing and blocking people, giving his passer an opportunity to make some plays.
He's also 2-0 at Heinz Field. One game with Georgia Tech and one with Navy back in 07 when they won in double overtime. 41 yards away, Harrison Butker. And the Jackets will add 3 points. Butker now is 4 for 4 on the season in field goal attempts.
Well, let's take a look at momentum a little bit now. When you talk about a team going in with momentum, Pitt has kind of carried the day, it seems like, in the first half. But here in the last 5 minutes, as we look at Butker hammer this through with Paul Johnson looking on, they scored the last 10 points of this game, and they're going to go in the locker room with a lot of energy and a lot of momentum.
So just 2 seconds to play in the half. Paul Johnson let Justin Thomas open up that passing game a little bit. He's 5 for 6 in the game, David, 93 yards with the TD pass.
And you saw the discussion with Butker there. He's one of the co-captains of the team, Butker the kicker. I would imagine this will be something smothered along the ground. Remember, you got Quadre Henderson standing deep, 5th in the country in all-purpose yards. Don't want to give number 10 an opportunity to return the football. So this would, I would imagine, a squib along the ground, run out these final 2 seconds, and go in with a 1-point deficit if you're Georgia Tech.
Well, we told you that Henderson returned a kick against Villanova for 96 yards for a touchdown. In the bowl game last year in the Military Bowl against Navy, he went for 100 yards on the opening kickoff to return it for a TD. And Georgia Tech has returned one for a touchdown in this game. J.J. Green went 96 yards earlier in the quarter. It is a bounding kick. Scooped up by Henderson. Tries to turn it back towards the middle of the field. And finally, group tackled shy of the 30. Dorian Walker on the special teams tackle, and that should be and is the last play of the first half. So Georgia Tech with a quick 10 points. It's a 1-point halftime lead for Pittsburgh as the teams head to the locker room. And we will head down to the sidelines and Roddy Jones.
Coach, your offense, other than the last drive, scored on every possession. What have you thought about their performance in the first half?
Our offense has done a great job executing. You know, we give up a critical kickoff return for a touchdown, and then we don't get a 4th down stop here on 4th and 1, and they're going to go for it when it crosses the 40-yard line. We got to make a play. You know, Bam's there in the backfield. We got to finish the plays and tackle better on the second half.
Defensively as a whole, your thoughts on them?
You know, they've had 3 series. You know, in a 2-minute series at the end, they catch a couple balls and get in field goal range. But you know, we haven't given up big plays in the run game, which is key. We've made them earn the yards in the running game, which is all we want to do is slow them down.
Thanks, Coach. Katie, it's been an exciting first half here in Pittsburgh. Both offenses have really had it going. Expect to see a lot of defensive adjustments at halftime. What have you guys thought there in Charlotte?
Yeah, Roddy, absolutely.
Skillet has been rocking our games this season. The band joined our team in 2009 with a double platinum single, Monster. And they're kicking off our coverage every Saturday this year with their hit single, Feel Invincible. The band hit the road last month. They're in Knoxville, Tennessee tomorrow and up the road in Norfolk and Richmond next weekend. So check out all the dates for the Unleashed Tour at skillet.com. Back here, halftime, Heinz Field, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Tom and Dave with you in an interesting ball game because, Dave, in the first half, Pittsburgh twice had 11-point leads, but Georgia Tech comes back late in the first half, and they make it a 1-point game.
Yeah, showed a lot of poise, and they go into the locker room with a ton of energy. Last 10 points, as you mentioned. If I'd have told you Justin Thomas had more passing yards than Nathan Peterman, you wouldn't know what to think. That's the case, and actually more rushing yards for Pitt than Georgia Tech. So kind of a switch of roles here, but it's been an exciting first half.
Yeah, Justin Justin Thomas has a TD pass in the first half as well. All right, Dave, let's take a look at our Gatorade first half stats.
Well, the yards on first down really jump out for Pitt. They've done an outstanding job of moving the ball and putting themselves in good yardage situations, but both teams have been outstanding on third down. So you love the way both teams are handling that situation. And as you look to the second half, remember, Georgia Tech gets the ball first. 10 points going in at the half. And they get the ball to start the second half. Here's Roddy. He caught up with Coach Paul Johnson.
Coach, Justin was 5 of 6 in the first half. What's been working in the pass game to make him so efficient?
Well, they're geared up to play the run. We hit some play actions. He's throwing the ball well, protecting a little bit. We just got to get the ball. I don't think we ran very many plays. You know, we're having a hard time getting them off the field again.
How important was it to get those points before halftime in a game that's short on possessions?
Well, it was big. The last field goal was good, too. So we get the second half kick. Hopefully, if we can take and do something with it, we can get ahead.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, that's just what we talked about. Paul Johnson realized how important the last two series of downs were for his team, knowing he was going to get the ball to second half and see if he can flip the script. Pitt's been playing from the front all day long. Can Georgia Tech take care of business and put them under the gun? You know, Justin Thomas, outstanding runner in his triple option offense. It's been his ability to throw the football. He's 5 of 6 for 93 yards, including an outstanding last-second drive to put him in field goal range. You see the touchdown to June. But Thomas has been spectacular today throwing the ball, taking care of the ball. And it's amazing, Tom, when you actually block people for him. He's had a tough time getting some pass protection this season. They've actually done a nice job of keeping him clean. He can really sling it.
See, Dave, he now has 35 career touchdown passes and more passing yardage than he's had all season in a game for Justin Thomas in that first half. And as Dave mentioned, that included the 31-yard TD pass to Ricky June, who went up and made a sensational catch. J.J. Green will be the deep man for this second half kickoff. ACC football brought to you in HD by your local Tire Pros dealer. Win a VIP trip for 2 to the ACC Championship game and Continental Tires at TireProSweepstakes.com. The return out to the 19-yard line. We start the second half with Pittsburgh leading by 1. As the Panthers had 3 rushing touchdowns to account for their scoring in the first half.
Take a look at Georgia Tech's scoring drives. 14 plays, 10 plays, and of course that last one was really efficient by Justin Thomas, throwing the ball and moving him down in field goal range. What you don't see there is the 96-yard kickoff return by J.J. Green, which puts Georgia Tech 20 points, 21-20.
Thomas will keep it. That's a short gain for Justin Thomas, who is closing in on 2,000 yards rushing for his career. And we'll keep an eye on that throughout the second half. Needs 17 yards to eclipse that number. That's the lineman, Brian O'Neill, who has a touchdown run in this game. 24 yards on a lateral play from Peterman.
Yeah, really well designed by Matt Canada in that opening drive. Got the ball in the lateral throw and got the big fella out in front with some of his guys to escort him into the end zone. Exciting start to the game for Pitt, but Georgia Tech has answered. We got quite a ball game on our hands.
They'll flip it out. Willis up the sideline, bounced out of bounds by Bam Bradley. But Willis goes for 12 yards to move those sticks for the Jackets.
Isaiah used a lot as a blocker. Doesn't carry the ball very much. Just his 5th carry on the year, but an outstanding job again on the wide toss play. And it's a play that Georgia Tech's had a ton of success with, motioning one of those A-backs and the toss being outside the tackle box, outside that tight end area. And they've outflanked Pittsburgh a couple of times with the play.
First carry of the game for Willis. 8 different players have rushed the ball for Georgia Tech. This play goes nowhere as Justin Thomas is dragged down. 52 is Shakir Soto.
Boy, he has played well today, Tom. Shakir Soto has been a guy you can't handle. They have not been able to handle in the interior. Just doesn't fall for the fake, trying to fake that backside dive play and have Justin Thomas step around. Didn't block Shakir Soto. Hoped to influence him with the play. The design of the play didn't influence him at all. It makes the tackle for loss.
4th tackle for loss in the game for Pittsburgh. Thomas handed it off to Mills. He'll move that pile short of the 40 at the 38 and 5 yards for Dedrick Mills, the freshman from Waycross, Georgia.
Well, this is an area where they like to try to get Justin Thomas on the perimeter on the rollout throw. Give him a run-pass option. Let's see if Pitt can set the edge. Juan Price is right here on the edge trying to, can he set the edge and prevent Thomas from getting outside?
Georgia Tech 3 for 5 and third down. This is 3rd and 6.
Boy, Pitt loading up outside. Two linebackers standing up outside.
Thomas gave it to the first man through in Dedrick Mills, and he's short by about 1.5 yards.
All right, this has got to be one of those areas where Paul Johnson would love to go for it right here, but it's over 1 yard. And he's going to keep his offense on the field. Gutsy call right here now. Long one, Tom.
Well, they went for it on 4th down in the first half, and they got it. See what they can do here in the second half in a similar situation.
They like to try to draw teams offside by moving people around. Let's see if they actually snap the ball.
Play clock down to 7. They will snap it and toss it. Lynch. And he will get the first down for Georgia Tech. Second time they have converted on 4th and short in this game.
And it's the wide toss play that has really caused Pitt problems. We think about the triple option. This is a play that most every team in the country has. Just the student body left, if you will. The pitch to the wide side of the field. And another first down. Paul's gone to the well a number of times on that call, and Pitt has not been able to adjust to it.
From the 47 for Georgia Tech. With a new set of downs. Mills. And Mills, he may have first down yardage, and he will. That's 11 yards for Mills, down to the 42 of Pittsburgh.
They talked about Mills off the top, Tom, and the true freshman. He has been outstanding for Georgia Tech. When you talk to Paul Johnson, ask him what does his B-back or that fullback spot need to be. He needs to be tough. He needs to be a guy that can play for the full 60 minutes. And he feels like he's got a gem in Dedrick Mills.
8 carries, 40 yards, Dedrick Mills. Close to the 40 as Jarrett made the tackle. Mills got another call. Look at number 6, Tyreek Jarrett. Moves quickly for a big man, 6'3" and 335 pounds, Dave.
And if you're that big, you get to wear a single digit. I'm not sure you get the single digit jersey. When you're
if you're that big, you get to wear whatever number you want.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
So he'll take a breather on this play.
And we talked about how Georgia Tech will lull you to sleep. The run game, and then all of a sudden he throws it.
They'll flip it wide, Searcy. Just a short gain for Searcy. Down to maybe the 37-yard line. 4 yards, and Galambos making the tackle. Also number 2, Teresh Webb.
Yeah, they didn't get the block on the perimeter. Isaiah Willis, who was out in front, didn't turn up to get in front of Searcy. There was a lot more in that play. But there are 3rd and medium here. And again, remember, Georgia Tech is going to go for it if they're somewhere in that 1-yard area, Tom. 9 consecutive runs in a row now here to open the second half.
3rd and 5 for the Yellow Jackets. Trailing by 1 to Pittsburgh in the 3rd. 3 for 6 on 3rd down. This is going to be short. Soto was there to stop the play. Dedrick Mills down to the turf, and here comes 4th down again for Georgia Tech.
Well, now you're in that zone where it's probably too long to try a field goal, and you don't really want to punt the ball. So I think Georgia Tech goes here, and this might be the area where you get Justin Thomas out in space.
So we'll call it 4th and 4, and Georgia Tech is going. This is the 3rd time in the game they've gone for it on 4th down. They've made the previous 2. 11th play of the drive and 4th and 4. Thomas pressured, got it away, incomplete near the 20, out of the hands of Lance Davis. Turnover on downs, ball back to Pittsburgh.
Well, what an excellent job by Justin Thomas to hold up on the sprint out. Had an opportunity. Lance Davis, if you're a Georgia Tech fan, you got to make that catch. Georgia Tech comes out of the locker room ready to roll. Boy, Justin Thomas disappointed. Pitt will scrimmage next.
ACC football is being brought to you by Food Lion, raising standards without raising prices. How refreshing. By your Carolina Ford dealers. By Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Mattress Firm. And by Bojangles. It's bow time.
Images of that 76th season for the Pittsburgh Panthers. Tony Dorsett, Johnny Majors. Dorsett won the Heisman, and Majors led them to a national championship. They beat Penn State that year at Three Rivers Stadium. They finished the regular season 11-0. And earlier today, James Conner, Johnny Majors, the honorary captain, and he took care of the coin toss as well. Great to see him on the sideline, Dave.
Yeah, and I got a chance to see Coach Majors just before he went out on the field. Really cool to see him. He was excited to be here.
Won the Sugar Bowl against Georgia to get that national title. That's going to be Tipton for Pittsburgh. He'll get 12 on the play.
And this is the difficulty of defending a Matt Canada run offense. Offensive coordinator was at NC State over the last couple seasons. Comes in here after Jim Chaney moves to Georgia. He comes at you from all different angles, and he's got a number of people that can carry the football. The freshman Tipton here on the reverse play. You have to defend the entire field against a Matt Canada offense.
You know, Pittsburgh also beat Georgia Tech on the way to a national championship in '76. They won at Georgia Tech in Atlanta 42-14. Crossing into Georgia Tech territory is James Conner. 3 yards for Conner. Pittsburgh got all of its points on rushes for touchdowns. So Neal, Olison, and Henderson on a 10-yarder.
A solid drives, through 75 twice or 69 yards. Controlled the clock, controlled play. A lot of different ways to attack you. Different players carrying the football for Pat Narduzzi's team.
Coach Narduzzi, who told us he knows all about the Pittsburgh traditions growing up in Ohio. And a perfect fit here for the Panthers as their head coach in his second season. Conner has the rush again. He'll get 4, and Mitchell will make the tackle for Georgia Tech. You know, when you walk around those Pittsburgh football offices, Dave, and you are bombarded by the images and the history and tradition of this Pittsburgh program.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, the heritage and the history. I think people know the names of Hugh Green and Ricky Jackson and Dan Marino and, you know, Larry Fitzgerald, some of the great names that have played here down through the years. A lot of tradition, and Pat Narduzzi rekindling that.
Yeah, they claimed 9 national titles, including that one in 1976. That is Tipton, very close to the first down marker. Pittsburgh had been 4 of 5 on third down in the game, but this one will require further inspection.
Yeah, good tackle by Gray coming out of the secondary. I think he's held him short of the first down.
David, is 4th down for Pittsburgh.
Interesting, very same area of the field, Tom, that Georgia Tech went for it in the first half, and it looks like Pitt will do the same.
So Pittsburgh will keep the offense out there. On 4th down this season, they are 4 of 6. This is 4th and 1, and inside of 6 minutes to go in the third. Aston lunging forward. Alford made the stop, but he got 2 yards, and that should be a first down for Pittsburgh. And yes, those sticks are going to roll.
A good hard run by Aston, because he's collisioned prior to getting to the line of scrimmage. He was able to push for a first down. So just got enough to move the chains. Gotten back to physical play here in this drive as Pitt gotten back to their run game.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. Just outside the Georgia Tech 40-yard line. They're going to run it again. James Conner has room up the middle. And Conner for a good 8 yards. Curry and Gray have to combine on the stop of the captain, Conner.
Big veteran offensive line up front are able to get to that second level, get the linebackers collisioned or engaged with linemen, and Conner stepping through where Georgia Tech has to make the play with their defensive backfield.
43 career touchdowns for James Conner, second most in school history behind Tony Dorsett, who has 63. 41 of the rushing variety for James Conner. Second and short. Conner again. Gets around the corner. Here's Conner down the sideline. It barrels forward close to the the 10. They'll mark him out at the 12. Lance Austin took the brunt of the hit, and there is a player down on the field for Georgia Tech. Dave, that's a 21-yard pickup for James Conner.
And that's P.J. Davis reaching back, grabbing his left hamstring. Leading tackle for Georgia Tech. Inside linebacker.
So while they attend to Davis, Conner and Pittsburgh continues to drive.
Back at Heinz Field with Pitt on the move and leading 21-20. Here's the final play. Both linebackers on the outside cannot keep contained on James Conner, and the big fella, the Terminator, rolling down the sideline. Watch your right side of your screen. P.J. Davis, the leading tackler for Georgia Tech, pulls up lame right there. It looks like the left hamstring, and he gingerly got himself off the sideline with some assistance of the Georgia Tech medical staff. Boy, that didn't look good. P.J. Davis, heck of a player for the Jackets.
Yeah, the junior from Cairo, Georgia, helped to the sideline as Pittsburgh continues to drive. They are so good in the red zone. 21 touchdowns on 25 entries into the red zone. They've scored 23 times in total, and the ball's at the 12-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Victor Alexander has gone in replace of P.J. Davis. And there is Nathan Peterman, the senior from Jacksonville, Florida. On 1st down for the Panthers. They'll hand it off to James Conner. He is tripped up, maybe a yard on the play. Antonio Simmons able to get a piece of Conner.
Kind of a sellout play defensively that time. Nobody in the back end of the secondary, just man coverage across the board, trying to get James Conner, the Terminator, stopped. He's got it rolling here, Tom, in the 3rd quarter. Good spot here for play action. You fed Conner a number of times. Play fake to Conner. Henderson in the right slot. He's the most dangerous player on the field as he goes in motion across the formation.
2nd down. And Henderson got dropped. How about Simmons?
Wow, Henderson going to go on the retrace, and they're going to retrace motion, and then they're going to bring him back across on jet sweep. And he's getting introduced to Mr. Simmons, who disintegrates him at about the 17-yard line. What a hit by Simmons, the defensive end.
So now, Dave, it's 3rd and 14, and the ball is pushed out beyond the 15-yard line.
And now you're going to rush 3. Looks like Georgia Tech going to go 3-man rush, place 8 in drop-off.
Peterman has the time, looking to the end zone. The receiver stumbled down. Griffin was back there in coverage. Orndorff was the receiver who got tripped up a little bit in the end zone and stumbled down.
Yeah, Orndorff, we talked about his prowess in the red zone. He's done an outstanding job. He's got 35 receptions in his career, 9 for touchdowns. Boy, that was one that's a little bit borderline right there. See the collision by he and Griffin. I guess the officials thought that the feet got tangled up, and both are afforded that area of the field.
34-yard attempt for Chris Blewett. From 34 yards away, and it is right down the middle. So Blewett adds 3 for the Panthers. Forbes Field, the former home of the Pirates. One of those historical sites here in Pittsburgh, and we'll be back after a word from your local ACC station. Hey, are you feeling like a champion today? Tire Pros is giving you the opportunity to be one with the Road to the Championship sweepstakes. Enter for a chance to win a VIP trip for 2 to the ACC Championship game in Orlando and a new set of Continental tires. Enter today at TireProSweepstakes.com. Rock the Panther in the stands here at Heinz Field, where the Panthers have a 65-36 all-time record. They are playing on homecoming. They beat Virginia on homecoming a season ago. Blewett, with his most recent field goal, the one he just hit, gives him 50 for his career. He has now tied the school record for made field goals. J.J. Green from the 1. Short of the 20. 18 on the return for J.J. Green. Let's take a look at what you, the fans, are saying on the Mellow Mushroom Tweetsa. Dave, here's our first one. And it's in regard to those Pittsburgh uniforms, the throwback to the glory days. They haven't worn them since '05.
Yeah, they look good. It's always fun to go back, the retro look. It's a neat look. I don't know if I would stay with that. I like their other uniforms as well. Come on, defense, step it up. Go Jackets. Some Jacket fans.
By the way, Dave, Mellow Mushroom wants to give each of those fans $100 in pizza. Congrats, and look out for a Twitter message to claim your pizza. These teams first met way back in 1918. The first 3 meetings were right here in Pittsburgh. Georgia Tech has the ball. A little bit of razzle-dazzle. Stewart wanted to throw it, unable to do so, and tracked down by the defense. Juan Price leading the way.
Well, first of all, it's really good discipline for Juan Price to stay at home. The reverse has no chance. Now, Stewart wants to throw it. He makes the second best decision on the play as he decides to hold on to the ball. Doesn't want to put it in harm's way or throw it into coverage. Nobody open down the field. See, here defended, up here defended. Nobody to throw the football to. And so Stewart makes a good decision with Juan Price breathing down his neck.
That's now 8.5 sacks on the season for Price. And second of the game for Pittsburgh, a loss of 4. Second and 14 from the 15. Thomas looking for a receiver. A diving attempt is made by Stewart, but in the process is also a flag on the play. There is a flag thrown by the officials.
We'll get a shot clock here.
It is going against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Personal foul. Illegal low block. Number 22 offense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Third down.
And with that call, we'll go back to our Charlotte studios and Katie Witham.
Thanks, Tom. Our Hardee's update takes us to NC State, and Coach, Fighting Irish are on the board.
Notre Dame field goal kicker Justin Yoon, a 40-yard field goal. In a game like this, take points any way you can, because look at this. Conditionings, ball security. Oh, 3 points looks good for the Fighting Irish.
That ball's got to be heavy at this point with that rain coming down, Coach. Tie game, 3-3. Tom, Dave?
What a battle in inclement weather. Who can hang on in that one? That'd be fun to watch down the stretch. This is a good one here, Tom.
Second and 21 with the play clock running down. They'll hand it up the middle, and that'll be Marcus Marshall. Price has a tackle after a 3-yard gain by Marshall, who's a sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina. We just told you what's going on in Raleigh. Some of the residue of that storm of Matthew, and they're really feeling it there as they're just drenched in Raleigh and a lot of places in the Carolinas.
Well, here Georgia Tech has got to be careful now, Tom, deep in their own territory. Third and long situation. Obviously not your forte to throw the football on a regular basis, so Justin Thomas got to be very judicious here with the football. Let's see him take off, pull down and take off with it.
3 of 7 on 4th down for Georgia Tech. Here's Thomas from the pocket. He lets it fly, and both defender and receiver fall, and a flag follows. Ricky June was the intended receiver. Out there defending was Ryan Lewis.
Call on June, offensive pass interference on Ricky June here.
Pass interference, offense number 2. Penalties decline. 4th down.
June one-on-one at the left side of your screen here as you watch him just running the go route. They're going to throw the jump ball, and no question about it. Extended the hands on Lewis and pushed him to the ground. I think Pat Narduzzi thought that he might be against his guy. And then he realizes, you know what, okay, it's against them. We'll decline that. Pitt ganging up against the punt here.
Rodwell from his end zone. That's Henderson who comes up to meet it at about the 46, and that is a 36-yard punt from Rodwell.
Well, Nathan Peterman has been, as advertised, taking care of the ball and distributing it to a number of receivers. Now, a lot of yards, but he's done a nice job of running this offense and being the field general. But when he's been asked to pull it down, he's been able to scoot for decent yardage, but then the distribution of the ball has been right on the money. That throw right there, how about that one on the outside shoulder? Peterman's been good when they've asked him to throw it down the field. Short field opportunity here, Tom. Great situation there by Henderson to catch the football and preserve the short field.
Best starting field position by either team in this game for the 47 for Pittsburgh. Peterman slings it out, and that is incomplete. That was Trey Tipton as we check in with Roddy on the sideline.
Tom, you saw Georgia Tech linebacker P.J. Davis leave the field very gingerly. It is that left hamstring. They've got ice on it. He will not return for the rest of the game.
So, Roddy, when we look on the field, we talk about guys getting banged up. This has been a physical game. Now, Alex Officer, the center, has been in there for 28. This is his 29th career start. Got up a little gingerly and is limping to the line of scrimmage. So, a battle of attrition right now, Tom.
On 2nd and 10, James Conner off the left side. He got 3. That'll bring up 3rd and 7 for the Panthers, who won the meeting between the teams last year in Atlanta, 31-28. We showed you at the top of the broadcast, Chris Blewett made a 56-yard field goal with just over a minute to go. A school record distance and a personal best for Blewett in the process to get that win last year.
Yeah, he's an outstanding kicker, obviously a record-setting kicker, as you've talked about, Tom. Now, we've not seen Orndorff step up here. Orndorff is in the slot right here. Guy that Peterman likes to get the ball to.
Peterman also threw 3 TD passes in the game last year, and this one is on target at the 32. Scott Orndorff on what could be the last play of this quarter. Got 12 yards for a first down for the Panthers to the 32.
Boy, outstanding job of those two guys getting together, teaming up. What a game we got.
That is the end of the 3rd. Nathan Peterman, Pat Narduzzi, and the Pittsburgh Panthers have the lead 24-20 against visiting Georgia Tech on the ACC Network. The 4th quarter is straight ahead. Here in Pittsburgh, ready to start the 4th quarter with the Panthers up by 4 and jacked up, fired up, and ready for this final quarter and this homecoming crowd in anticipation of this final quarter between the Panthers and the Yellow Jackets. Dave, they already had a huge crowd here. Almost 70,000 people turned out on September 10th for the renewal of the rivalry with Penn State. They won 42-39.
Yeah, most of the kids don't remember that rivalry, but they do now after that crowd that showed up for the Pitt-Penn State game.
First time they had played in 16 years. Jordan Whitehead on the play for Pittsburgh. Our 1st and 10 line. Our stats through 3 quarters brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery.
Well, Pitt out rushing Georgia Tech, and now you see down here this 3rd down conversion thing is starting to go Pitt's way. Georgia Tech on the low side of 50%. That's something they normally dominate is third down conversions.
2nd and 3 for Pittsburgh, just beyond the 25-yard line. Moss close to first down yardage. Antonio Simmons had the tackle of Moss, and it is a first down for the Panthers. The opening moments of the final quarter, he got 4 yards on the play to move the chains. First and 10 for the Panthers from the 21.5. Moss again driven backwards by several white shirts. He's going to lose a yard on the play. Patrick Gamble involved in the tackle for Georgia Tech.
Antonio Simmons, Tom, has really come to play. The edge player for Paul Johnson and his defense. Number 93, done a nice job. Ted Roof has been able to lean on the junior defensive end to hold up and set the edge. Did a nice job there again for a tackle for loss.
On 2nd and 11. Peterman pressured, and he'll be tackled down by Patrick Gamble. as he tried to get out of that pocket near the 23-yard line.
Well, give Georgia Tech in the back end a ton of credit here. Good protection up front for Peterman. He's able to slide, wait, and then ultimately pulls it down. But really good job in the back end. Let's take a look at Georgia Tech's back seven. They take away all the throws. Here. There's a Georgia Tech player around every one of the Pitt receivers. So good job by Georgia Tech in that back seven.
3rd and 12 for the Panthers. 5 of 8 on 3rd down. Peterman uncorks it inside the 10. The ball came loose as Jester Weah could not hang on. Lance Austin draped all over Weah.
Well, Ted Roof going to heat up the quarterback with some pressure and throw the ball is offline. And Weah would have had to make a circus catch right there with Lance Austin all over it. Ted Roof waited, came with pressure that time, and changed the timing for Nathan Peterman on the throw.
So this will be a 41-yard attempt for Chris Blewett. He made a 34-yard field goal in the 3rd quarter. This would set the Pittsburgh record for made field goals from 41 yards away. No problem for Blewett.
Well, he's a record-setting kicker. He beat Georgia Tech last year. He's now the all-time leader. He didn't blow this one right through the uprights.
ACC football is brought to you by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Coca-Cola. By your local Chevy dealers. By Haviland Motor Oil, proud sponsor of the Everyday Driver. And by Mellow Mushroom, a higher order of pizza.
Now the Cathedral of Learning here in Pittsburgh as we take a look at our Haviland Player of the Week, and it is Ryan Switzer from North Carolina. Dave, he is in great company, having a tremendous stretch for this young man.
Yeah, big-time player, 30 receptions over the last 2 weeks. Of course, they got the big win on a Florida State last week on the road. Roommate with Mitch Trubisky. Those two guys have quite a relationship, throwing the football and catching it on the field.
North Carolina beat this Pittsburgh team on September 24th in Chapel Hill, 37-36 in an exciting finish. J.J. Green will not return that one. We check in with Roddy.
Tom, you saw Chris Blewett, and you mentioned sets the career record for field goals made. But we talked to Matt Galambos yesterday, who's Chris Blewett's roommate, and he said it's kind of weird to see the success that Blewett's had. Not that he doesn't think that he would have that success, but when you room with the guy, you get to know him a little bit different. We tried to ask Matt Galambos for a little bit of dirt on Chris Blewett, but he said, no, that's my roommate. That's my roommate. I'm going to protect him. Just know that he's a little bit different off the field.
See, Roddy would share the dirt on his roommates. Galambos wasn't willing to come with the dirt. Not that there is any dirt on Chris Blewett, of course.
Thomas sprinting up to the 40. Justin Thomas dragged down by Whitehead, but he's up past the 45 to the 47-yard line. Justin Thomas, 23 yards on the carry.
Well, the classic second part of the option. They don't run dive. This is just lead option. He keeps, will fake. First time Justin Thomas has gotten clean. That knocked to the ground, and a good block by Ricky June, the wide receiver on Matt Galambos, to allow Thomas to get to the edge. It's the first time they've allowed Justin Thomas to affect the game on the ground.
Mills crosses into Pittsburgh territory and drags that pile to the 45-yard line. Galambos in there on the tackle for Pittsburgh.
Galambos is a guy, we talked to him yesterday. You could see a little twinkle in his eye. He knew this was going to be a physical game. Linebackers love that. See him play off the block of J.J. Green there and get in on the tackle, but not before Mills was able to pick up 6. That's not what Galambos in this defense is looking for, to allow Georgia Tech to rip off 6 yards on first down.
Justin Thomas now has gone over the 2,000-yard rushing mark, just the 3rd quarterback in the history of Georgia Tech to do so. He did it on that previous run. This one a little bit less productive for Marcus Marshall, and there's Shakir Soto again.
Shakir Soto has been a beast today. Trying to get this guy blocked. He's lightning quick on the interior. 290-pounder. Right here, right there on that left side, just sheds the block of Freddie Burden, the outstanding center for Georgia Tech, and makes the play and forces a 3rd and 4 situation.
Georgia Tech on 3rd down, 3 of 8. 3rd and 4 for the Yellow Jackets from the 45 of Pittsburgh. They're going to flip it out to Lynch. Lynch has some room. Watch out. Down the sideline. Clinton Lynch toward the pylon. And Lynch scores. It's a touchdown. 45 yards on the run from Lynch.
We came into the game talking about Food Lion impact players. Clinton Lynch is one of those guys we picked out, averaging over 12 yards a carry. Outstanding perimeter blocking, and Lynch shoves it in the end zone. They got him again with that wide toss play. Here's Jordan Whitehead trying to make the tackle. Excellent job by Lynch at the pylon to extend the ball. Feet in bounds, yes. He breaks inside the pylon. What an effort by Lynch at the back end of the run.
First rushing touchdown of the season for Clinton Lynch, the sophomore. And the Yellow Jackets have tied this game at 27, just over 10 minutes to go.
27 all. We've got a ball game. These two teams want this game badly. They know it could be pivotal in the Coastal race.
You're watching ACC football presented by Mellow Mushroom. What a game here at Heinz Field as Georgia Tech has just tied it at 27. The Yellow Jackets, Dave, by the way, making only their 2nd trip to Pittsburgh since 1920. And the last time they were here in 2014, they won this game on the road against the Panthers.
Yeah, not just the 2nd or 3rd time Paul Johnson's been here. I actually had a chance to do a game with Paul Johnson, the head coach at Navy, when they came in and played LaShawn McCoy in this Pittsburgh Panther team and found a way to win that football game. So Paul Johnson actually undefeated in the building.
His Navy team won in overtime here at Pittsburgh. It's going to be Henderson. He'll watch it sail over his head and into the end zone as we go down to the sidelines, and Ronnie Jones.
Tom, my spotlight today was Quadri Henderson and where they were going to line him up and how Georgia Tech was going to defend him. You see he gets involved in a lot of different ways. He's caught a pass today. He's done it in the return game, which is where it's one of the times he's the most dangerous. But then running the football, came in the 2nd leading rusher on this football team. He's used on the jet sweeps you see here. He's able to get in the end zone. But Georgia Tech, all things considered, has done a very good job of bottling him up. Averages 187 all-purpose yards per game. Well under that so far today.
And Roddy, you got to figure that Henderson's going to see the ball quite a bit here in this final 10 minutes of the game. He has not been heard from much here in the second half. Expect him to see the ball here in the second half.
Just 37 total yards for Henderson in this game. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Tipton. Brant Mitchell, number 51, the sophomore from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, we talked about a couple plays that have hurt both defenses. Is that retrace motion and jet sweep hurt Georgia Tech early in the game. Georgia Tech's been able to solve that a little bit. For Pittsburgh, they've been hurt by that wide toss sweep. We just saw Lynch run for a touchdown on. Pitt has not adjusted that as well.
You know, the Panthers have not beaten Georgia Tech in Pittsburgh since 1920. Peterman. Complete. Aston diving forward up near the 35. Austin made the tackle, 15 yards as we go to our studios.
A Hardy's update takes us back to rainy Raleigh. But what's going on here, Coach?
This was just poor execution between the quarterback and running back. Weather was not a factor in that play.
Weather was on this one. Not after that terrible snap. Then he did the right thing, holding on to it. A miracle he maintained possession.
Tie game, guys, 3-3. Notre Dame with 46 yards of total offense. Tom, Dave?
Wow, that's a prolific offense, too, with guys who are running it. Unbelievable.
It's going to be James Conner. Notre Dame, which is playing 5 ACC opponents this season. Duke went to Notre Dame and beat the Irish. And then last week we were at Duke, and Virginia came in and beat Duke on homecoming in Durham.
Well, defensive coordinator Brian Bedgorder was let go by Brian Kelly, the head coach at Notre Dame, so trying to shift gears there a little bit. Sometimes the weather can be your best ally defensively, but they can't seem to get it going offensively either.
Just the 7th possession of the game for Pittsburgh as we play in the 4th with 8:22 to go. The ball's on the turf. Tried to hand it to Henderson. That ball's on the ground, and the officials will give the ball to Georgia Tech. Brant Mitchell comes up with it for the Yellow Jackets inside the 40 of Pittsburgh.
Trying to run that quick flash snap on the jet sweep, and the timing was off. Peterman doesn't get the ball in time. Henderson's already by him. Ball on the ground. Gamble and Serge Henderson there. Marshall. It looks like you mentioned Mitchell. The sophomore linebacker dives in. Number of Georgia Tech defenders there, but it is Mitchell who comes up with it, the sophomore linebacker, in a huge turnover.
That is our first turnover of the football game. Henderson could not corral the handoff, put it on the ground. Georgia Tech with the football inside the 40 of Pittsburgh. Justin Thomas, the pitch. Mills, close to the 35-yard line. Here's a look at our Toyota game summary. For summaries of other ACC games, go to the Toyota Game Center on the ACC.com.
Limited possessions, got to take advantage of those possessions. Both offenses have been pretty good in that area, but the two defenses kind of trying to rear their head here in the second half and create an opportunity that helps one team win. Georgia Tech has come up with the biggest play of the game defensively. The takeaway, short field opportunity now for the Jackets.
We've already had a 45-yard TD run by the Yellow Jackets by Clinton Lynch. This is Marcus Marshall. Looks like one of the linemen for Georgia Tech is shaken up a little bit there, Dave.
Yeah, it looks like
could be Andrew Marshall, number 50. Yep.
Georgia Tech moved their line around quite a bit. Marshall started at right tackle today.
So as they check on Andrew Marshall, we'll step aside for a moment from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports, also streaming live on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app.
Andrew Marshall going to get rolled up. Here he is right here, crashing down to the inside. Right here, gets rolled up by Will Bryan. He was able to get off on his own power. So hopefully, Andrew Marshall get back on the field.
4 of 9 on 3rd down for Georgia Tech. Thomas sheds one man. Goes back the other direction. Justin Thomas heaves it to a wide open man at the 9, and it walk in. Brad Stewart, the touchdown for the Yellow Jackets. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, because Freddie Burden, the center, is about 30 yards down the field.
An eligible receiver downfield. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
See, Justin, this is a mistake by Justin. He makes a great athletic play here. They're going to cut him off. Well done by Pitt. But now we get him to the other side of the field. Now he's got to pull the ball down and take off. He's got to try to minimize the damage because they're in field goal range potentially for Butker.
Harrison Butker has made 2 field goals in the game. He's 2 for 2. Connected from 37 yards in the first quarter, 41 yards in the second quarter, and now it's 3rd and 10 from just inside the 40 of Pittsburgh. 4 of 9 on 3rd down for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Pitt coming up and playing bump and run, trying to take away the quick throw for Thomas.
Thomas wants to throw it. Sideline shot. Up for it. Flag out. Catch made at the 12 by Brad Stewart. Another penalty flag is out on the play. Jackson and Whitehead were back there defensively.
Pass interference. Defense, number 11. Penalty is declined. A catch on the play. 1st down.
Tom, this is a spectacular catch by Stewart on the outside. Bump and run coverage. You see Dane Jackson, the freshman, gets his head around. Boy, I think that's pretty good hand fighting by both. It's just an outstanding play by Stewart. I thought Dane Jackson did a pretty good job of defending that play. Didn't see a lot of pass interference there, but what an incredible catch by the sophomore wide receiver for Tech.
Second catch of the game for Stewart. That one went for 27 yards. First and 10 from the 12 for Georgia Tech.
Paul Johnson yelling instructions. Actually walked out on the field. Now he's going to burn a timeout. Didn't have the play he wanted. He was about 5 yards on the field, Tom, yelling at Justin Thomas.
They will also take a timeout with 6:32 to go in the fourth. Back after a word from your local ACC station.
Battle here at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh with both teams tied at 27. We talk about how offensive linemen have to get back in there and fight through injury. Georgia Tech has done that. They've had a number of players that have gone to the sideline for Paul Johnson, then worked their way back on the field. Andrew Marshall back on the field playing for Georgia Tech.
First and 10 from the 12 for Georgia Tech. Searcy to the 10, to the 5, and bounced out of bounds, and there is a flag on the play. Jordan Whitehead knocked Searcy out of bounds.
Holding offense, number 28. 10-yard penalty, first down.
J.J. Green, one of the A-backs on the edge, gets called for the hold. When you have these wide run plays, you got to hold your block a long time. Here's Green, 28. Yeah, going to wrap his arms around the legs of Reggie Mitchell, the safety. Clay Searcy is the benefactor as he gets to the edge, but comes back because of the holding penalty.
J.J. Green returned a kickoff 96 yards in the second quarter for Georgia Tech, which was able to get a touchdown and a field goal at the end of the first half to make it a one-point game. It's now tied 27-all. Thomas to the 10. Justin Thomas just inside the 10-yard line. Shakir Soto had the tackle at 8 yards for Justin Thomas.
Second time we've seen this play in the last couple of drives. Lead option, no dive fake, just trying to get some blockers out in front of Justin Thomas and the potential pitch back. Thomas fakes the pitch and ducks inside. They've gotten a little bit of yardage on it. It's the one play that Justin Thomas has gotten clean on, trying to get probably their most explosive player out on the perimeter.
Georgia Tech now with 224 rush yards in the game as Thomas gives it off to the end zone. J.J. Green, and he scores for Georgia Tech.
You talk about the teamwork and the triple option. Counter option going to show movement right, pull the guard out in front, block out in front by Clinton Lynch. And J.J. Green shoves it in the end zone. Boy, that's textbook operation on the counter option play. Good job by Justin Thomas to hold to the last minute and get the ball outside to J.J. Green.
Georgia Tech has scored a touchdown on its last 2 drives, 10 yards. J.J. Green in the end zone, and Butker adds the extra point. And Georgia Tech on the road at Pittsburgh in the fourth with a 34-27 lead. J.J. Green has scored twice today, a 96-yard kick return for a TD, and then the run just a moment ago for the score.
And both teams have done a nice job, Tom, of taking care of the football, but Georgia Tech cashes in on the one mistake in the game. The fumble by Henderson to Peterman on the exchange on the jet sweep. Short field opportunity, and Paul Johnson's team cashes it in. I got to check. Roddy and I were on the field talking to Paul Johnson prior to kickoff, and Roddy, he talked about some of the they haven't had a lot of those kind of opportunities, and he was hoping that maybe they get a couple of short field opportunities to get one to cash it in.
Yeah, Arch, he came into the game -3 in turnover margin, so Coach Johnson was very frustrated at the fact that they haven't really been able to run as many plays as he would like. You know, he referenced the game a couple of years ago against the University of Georgia. They ran 92 plays in a losing effort, but the ability to get out there and run plays is something that he loves, obviously, and short field opportunities certainly help.
Don't forget next Saturday, ACC Network Game of the Week presented by Mellow Mushroom. We're going to Charlottesville, Virginia. These Panthers take on Virginia Cavs. Coming on strong behind quarterback Kurt Benkert and Mr. Versatility Smoke Mizell. Coverage on the ACC Network begins at noon with the ACC Blitz powered by Ram Trucks. Katie Witham, Tommy Bowden, Stan Norfleet. That'll be our game next week on the ACC Network.
Georgia Tech has been able to put together some big plays. Coach Narduzzi talked at halftime with Roddy Jones that they had not allowed any big plays. Well, J.J. Green on the 96-yard kickoff return. Ricky June elevates, high points the football, and then Clinton Lynch finds a crease and scores. Here's the big play in the game. Game tied. Georgia Tech creates a short field opportunity, and they cash it in. This time, Lynch out in front of the block, and J.J. Green in the end zone on the option.
First rushing touchdown of the season for J.J. Green, who has scored twice. The run by Clinton Lynch was for 45 yards for a score. Here's Peterman. Henderson. 30-yard line. Charlotte studio.
Thanks, Tom. Our Hardee's update takes us back to NC State.
This is just a lack of attention to detail, getting bullied off the ball, nothing to do with the weather. That's the right 10-yard return for the touchdown.
And now NC State on top of Notre Dame 10-3. This will be, if it stands, Notre Dame's 4th loss. Tom, Dave?
NC State, I mean, you got to give them a ton of credit for battling. They've had one close loss that we know of, and that led the way Dave Dorn's team's battling.
Trying to improve to 4-1 of the season. James Conner stopped. Patrick Gamble.
Boy, just blew up Dorian Johnson, the senior left guard. Gamble, the co-captain on this Georgia Tech football team, leads their defensive line in tackles. Just beat Dorian Johnson across his face and hits the Terminator. Now, big moment here for Nathan Peterman now. Try to get the football. Remember, Orndorff is a guy, he has a great relationship. He's the guy in motion.
5 of 9 on 3rd down. Peterman has the time. Over the middle, deflected and caught. Scott Orndorff to the 10, and he will walk into the end zone. Orndorff, the catch and the touchdown for the Panthers.
Talked about Scott Orndorff and his relationship with Nathan Peterman. They did a ton of work over the summertime together. One of the two receivers that kind of hung around during summertime that Peterman spent a lot of time with. Great concentration there. A Tech player deflects the football, but it's the relationship between quarterback and receiver that makes something like that happen.
Chris Blewett ties this game at 34 with 3:50 to go. 74 yards on the TD score.
Orndorff had come in motion. He says, have I got zone or man coverage? It's zone coverage. So Peterman shoots the ball down the field. In comes Corey Griffin, to try to tip it away. He doesn't get enough of it. Great concentration by Scott Orndorff. And he reels it in. Outstanding pass receiving tight end. All the guy does is catch touchdowns.
The second TD grab of the season, and for Peterman, TD pass number 9.
Well, big moment there. 3rd down and long. Nathan Peterman, the transfer from Tennessee. They needed him to come up big right there, and he hasn't been asked to do a ton throwing the ball down the field, but he did come up big there. Got a little bit of a break, obviously, but a good read, found the right receiver, and got a little bit of a break.
Just 3 plays on the drive. Peterman in the game. 14 of 20. 192 yards, and that touchdown pass to Orndorff. That is a career-long reception for Orndorff. J.J. Green will wait. Blewett to kick it away. Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech, back and forth. An entertaining football game on a Saturday here in Pittsburgh. Our Duluth Trading Company hardest working player,
Shakir Soto, it got to be. I mean, we have mentioned this kid's name all day long. 8 tackles, 7 of those are solo. He's got 2 tackles for loss. He has been disruptive all day long against this Georgia Tech offensive line. Number 52, and boy, he's been in position to take a handoff or 2 from Justin Thomas today. But he's just been dominant on the inside. He has been virtually unblockable. I think there's a guy that plays for the Rams right now would enjoy watching Soto play. That's Aaron Donald. He's played a little bit like that today.
362 total yards for Georgia Tech, above their season average as they operate 1st and 10 for the 25. Mills driven backwards. Big Tyreek Jarrett. There is no gain on the play. The senior from right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Well, he's as big as the Death Star. I mean, look at this guy. He's gigantic. On the inside, they can't get him blocked. Excellent play.
Our 1st and 10 line today is brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery, celebrating 10 years and over $4.5 billion raised for education. Right now, that line at the 35 of Georgia Tech, 2nd and 10. Searcy, pursuit, dropped. Bam, Bradley on the pursuit for Pittsburgh and a loss of 1.
It's the play that Pitt has had the most problem with all day long. Bam Bradley this time will not be blocked. He gets to the perimeter. Number 4 to the right side of your screen. Going to defeat the blocker. Promoting the tackle. He's on Quay Searcy and a tackle for loss. 6 tackles for loss now. This Pitt defense, and now the Pitt fans are locked and loaded for this 3rd and long.
Third and 11 for Georgia Tech. And a timeout taken by the Yellow Jackets with 2:25 to go in the game. Prior to this 3rd down play, Paul Johnson will discuss it with his quarterback, Justin Thomas. The game last year, Dave, was an exciting football game. October 2015.
Yeah, 1:11 left. Chris Blewett came on and hit a 56-yard field goal. A dagger right through the heart of the Georgia Tech fans. Pitt's defense was able to come on, hold Justin Thomas without being able to move the football, and Blewett's 56-yarder won it 31-28. Big coastal battle a year ago in Atlanta.
That was a school record, that 56-yarder by Blewett. Harrison Butker on the other side for Georgia Tech. He's an accomplished kicker as well. He has hit from as long as 53, and he's done that twice. And he is 4 for 4 in the season, and he's made both attempts in our game today. Of course, Georgia Tech has a ways to go before he gets in range for a field goal attempt.
So you talk about what are you going to do now? They've had some success getting Thomas outside the pocket. Now, Juan Price is the guy you're going to have to get outside of. Outstanding pass rusher for Pitt is at the top of your screen on the defensive line.
Thomas slings it right near the 1st down marker as Brad Stewart made the catch. Did he get there?
No,
they'll mark him short. Yes, they will, Dave. 10 yards on the play.
Well, I think you roll the dice here if you're Paul Johnson, though. This is, even though you're on your own 34-yard line, I think you have enough confidence that you can pound out a yard. I think Tech goes for it here on their own 34.
Right in front of Coach Johnson. He wants a better spot. It's not going to happen. About a yard short. And for the 4th time of the game, Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech going on 4th down. They've made 2 of them so far this afternoon. It's 4th and 1. Up the middle. Stopped. Jarrett was in there for Pittsburgh.
But where the spot's coming down, all he had to do was break the 35-yard line, Tom. And I think he got to the mark. Based on the spot they're giving him, it looks like he reached the spot.
This is Mills, Dave, on the handoff.
Mills straight ahead. Boy, what a good job by Pitt interior-wise. Galambos was there. Jarrett is there. Soto is there. He got a generous spot. Now, they've moved it back a tad, so he may be short. It was initially on the line.
You cannot get any closer than that. It's about one chain link short of the first down.
About what they got the first down on in the first half. Remember, they got a measurement along the Pitt sideline that they got it by a chain link. I would think that Paul Johnson, in this situation with the game on the line under 2 minutes, he's going to have to challenge the call, much like Pat Narduzzi did in the first half. Boy, what an outstanding job by Pitt in the interior, that defensive line. We mentioned the names, Jarrett and Soto, the two defensive tackles, and Galambos, the linebacker. Shut the door. Well, what a nice job by the Pitt defense to realize, and I think they fed a lot of energy off the crowd here. The crowd was outstanding.
So the play is being reviewed. Paul Johnson, Pat Narduzzi. As far as this coastal race is concerned, this is an enormous game. Both of those head coaches.
And we've actually got a really good look at it. Our sideline shot we have of the play. Let's look at it from all 22. First of all, this could be a little bit too far away to be able to see it. Just an outstanding job by those two defensive tackles and Galambos, the linebacker, on the interior. Here's the best shot of it right here. You're looking for the ball to cross the 35-yard line. Does Mills get the ball across that? Looking at that, I can't see it.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. First down, Pitt.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with the spot. Don't blame Paul Johnson for going for it there. It's his opportunity to keep the ball and win the game.
Dave, you must have indisputable video evidence. And they did not have enough to overturn the call. On the field, they came out for a measurement. Honestly, folks, it was one chain link short of a first down. It was that close. Pittsburgh, a full complement of timeouts in the fourth. Georgia Tech has one.
Well, this will be James Conner now.
Tied at 34. Conner busts through the line and down to the 30. Corey Griffin made the tackle and 4 yards for James Conner.
You've got a record-setting kicker that's getting loose on the sideline. He won this game a year ago. This will be James Conner now. They're very comfortable. This is about a 52, 53-yard kick from where they are. No, I'm sorry. It's about a 47, 48-yard kick from where they are right now. Well within Blewett's range. We just showed you the 56-yard that won it a year ago. This will be James Conner, a steady diet of James Conner. Georgia Tech trying to get a tackle for loss.
13 carries, 57 yards for James Conner. 2nd and 6 for Pittsburgh from the 30 of Georgia Tech. After the Panther defense turned back Georgia Tech on 4th and short. Olesen. Misdirection inside the 15.
Slipped Quadre Olesen into the game. Had an outstanding year a year ago. He's lined up as a wingback, jet sweep, handing the football, caught Patrick Gamble flat-footed. And Olesen has pushed the ball inside the Tech 15-yard line.
16 yards on that play by Olesen.
Well, Georgia Tech's got, one timeout left. You've got to find a way to... And this is a situation where Pitt's just going to lean on the ball. I would imagine Pitt hand it to one of those two backs, but you might even just kneel down on the ball knowing that Blewett's in range here to not put the ball in harm's way if you're Pitt. Georgia Tech's got to tackle the football if they decide to hand it off to Conner.
From the 14-yard line, 1st and 10. Conner spins his way to the 10-yard line. He got 4. Keep in mind that Blewett has made both of his field goal attempts today, both in the second half. 34 yards, 41 yards. The career long, as Dave mentioned, is 56, and it came in the game between these teams last season in Atlanta when he won the game with just over a minute to play. There's a timeout on the field. It's taken by Pittsburgh. They have 2 remaining.
And this might be, you might wonder, well, why are they taking the timeout that early? Why do you not allow it to come down to about 3 seconds? What you want to do is you want to clear it up with your quarterback. Okay, here's what we're doing. Okay, let's settle everybody down. Okay, we've got a chance to win the football game here. Let's make sure everybody's on the same page. Good timeout by Pat Narduzzi. Obviously, it's only, second down. They can run the football here again, get the clock down to around 3 seconds, burn a timeout, and bring Blewett on to potentially win the football game.
With his 2 field goals today, Blewett set the school record for made field goals. He now has 51. He may get a chance at number 52 to win this game in the closing seconds against Georgia Tech. It has been a fantastic football game, so well played by both of these teams, but it is Pittsburgh after a defensive stand on 4th down and 18 seconds to go, 2nd and 7. Olison again. Georgia Tech is not fooled. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage, which now is at about the 11-yard line. And the timeout taken by the Panthers.
No, this is Paul Johnson. I think Paul Johnson burned his last time out. So, okay, now what are you doing here? Now, Pat Narduzzi, Matt Canada, they're going to talk to Nathan Peterman. This might be a center of the football. Where does Blewett want the ball? That's the conversation here. You know, Chris, where do you want the football? Do you want the ball on the side? Do you want it in the middle? It might just be Peterman moving over and kneeling down with the football. I would be surprised if they put it in harm's way at all here. Give themselves a chance to win it at the end.
So Pittsburgh took that timeout. The ball was spotted at the 11-yard line. And Chris Blewett, the spotlight on him again for the 2nd time in a row in this series between these 2 teams. He has a chance to win it, perhaps, for the closing field goal. Did it last year in Atlanta. 31-28 was the final last year with a win for the Panthers. Now on 3rd and 7, 10 seconds to go on the game clock. And Peterman angles toward the middle of the field and slides down, and the Panthers are going to have to use that final timeout. They'll probably wait a little bit, right there.
Yeah, usually about 3 seconds is where they like to burn the timeout. Clock running.
Well, the clock is stationary right now at 8 seconds.
Georgia Tech is taking a timeout. Now, this is a Tech team that's done a nice job of getting after the kicker. Anderson's blocked the kick. Brooks Shangan has blocked one as well. This is a team that's blocked an ACC record 16, or ACC leading 16 kicks over the last few seasons. Tom, when we talk about them knocking the ball out of the sky from a kicking standpoint, of course, the famous one was a year ago against Florida State where they blocked the kick and returned it for a touchdown.
That was their only conference win of the season, too, Dave, against Florida State.
16 blocked kicks since 2013 for Georgia Tech. That leads the FBS.
So, Dave, the confusion is there was a problem with the game clock. It didn't start properly or stop properly. So right now it shows 8 seconds, and they may just leave it there after everything. So it will be Blewett. The field goal attempt with 8 seconds left. This is officially 31 yards for Blewett. He has connected from 34 and 41 yards, both in the second half. This to give Pittsburgh the lead. So there is still a problem with the clock. So Blewett has to just stand there, Dave, and stare down at the ground.
Yeah, Pat Narduzzi can't be overly enthused about how the clock's being handled here. He's essentially getting Paul Johnson getting to freeze the kicker without having a timeout.
Chris Blewett, the senior from Alexandria, Virginia, from 31 yards away to put the Panthers in front. Hit the upright and went in. Blew it off the upright for the field goal from 31 yards away.
Running into the kicker. On the defense, penalties decline. Field goal is good.
Well, by the narrowest of margins, Blewett wins the game again for Pitt. Off the right pole, the right upright. It snakes through. And Pittsburgh, the Pitt Panthers, find a way to win in the throwback uniforms.
The clock has run out. And the Panthers on the Blewett field goal for the second straight year. His right leg is the difference against Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech.
Well, a tough loss for Georgia Tech. Excellent win, obviously, for Pitt. Keeps them alive in the Coastal. This was a big game for both teams. You see the reaction of both coaches. For a moment, Paul thought it might have hit the upright. Pat Narduzzi had no doubts that his kicker would bang it through.
Here's our performance of the game, brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Chris Blewett did not miss today. 3 for 3, 38 yards, 41 yards, and as time expires, 31 yards away for Blewett. It's a record-setting day for him, but more importantly, he wins it for Pittsburgh, 37-34. For highlights and must-see moments from this game and others, check out theACC.com. Join us for the ACC Blitz, powered by Ram Trucks, next Saturday at noon, followed by the Mellow Mushroom Game of the Week, Pitt and Virginia. You've been watching coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football on the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.